Going on, family? Make sure you guys get them likes up as you enter. Get them likes up. Welcome to LAPEEF-ING Sundays. Guys are just entering. Welcome to LAPEEF-ING Sundays. Get these likes up, family. Come on. Sunday service is starting on time today, folks. Let's LAPEEF, y'all. Come on. I see the green gang. I see y'all. Y'all ready for the teach?
It's too early, but that's okay. My gym workout was phenomenal. Before I went home, I decided to stop over at my mother's house. I haven't seen my mother in 2 months. I know she's going to be very surprised to see me. I can't wait. What the? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The first thing I noticed was this person's skin. What is going on? Uncomplicated, untreated skin? Who is this guy? I had to take a step back, but then I realized it was my brother. But look at his skin. Have you guys ever seen anything like that? I had to take a closer look and figure out what was going on. Best believe I crept up on him. Peep this. I'm still looking at his skin, trying to figure out how did we get here. I could do nothing but shake my head. He could definitely use my help. I had to get to the bottom of this. He definitely needed some game about his skin. I'm just staring at it, like looking at it. Come on, bro. I knew what to do. I had to reach in my bag and get that Tiege Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men. Bro, this is why I'm excited to have Tiege Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. They have helped me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and the grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My brother was so excited. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. Shout out to Tiege Hanley. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description, and not only will you get Tiege Hanley for the best possible price, but they'll also give you a free gift with your first box. Click that link and get started today for just $30. Feel the Tiege. Let the Tiege force be with you.
That's right, family. Feel that Tiege. Let's get this show started. What's going on, family? Welcome to LAPEEF-ING Sundays. Let me introduce the crew. We got Miss Courtney, Michelle, Kyle, Key Rio, Kelly, Jay, Amber, Hink, and me, myself. I'm LAPEEF J.I. Let's get LAPEEF-ING, y'all. Welcome to LAPEEF-ING Sundays. Louder, louder. Yeah. I'm feeling that energy, y'all. Shout out to the Green Gang. Somebody feeling good on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. I fuck the freestyle. What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Every time I see that commercial, man, I just laugh at the end. I laugh at how rough their skin is. I mean, that's one of my favorite commercials, man. That's
I appreciate
hilarious.
it, man. I'm gonna have to do a movie about it, man.
You should have dropped a quick 8 bars, man.
I probably should. You know what? In Atlanta, I'm gonna drop some bars for you guys. It's gonna be written though. I might have to get a ghostwriter, but hey,
I got you.
The only thing that matters is just that delivery. I mean, that's how the artists do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. You got the look, you got the voice. All you gotta do is just spit it. Don't matter who wrote it. Or does it?
It matters. It matters.
No, yeah, that's not getting you no street cred, okay? Having a bunch of
Hey, I don't know. In 2022, they got a lot of ghostwriters out there.
Okay. They do. All right. Shout out to the women. You ladies look lovely on this Sunday. You guys got jazzed up early, huh?
Yeah, okay.
Shout out y'all going to some barbecues. Let me find out y'all vacationing.
Summertime is here. It's around the corner.
All right, y'all. I know that probably wasn't funny. I heard some of y'all do some of them phony laughs, but we're not gonna start that right now.
It was a courtesy laugh. It was a
okay. I need to know now before I do my stand up in Atlanta.
Damn, not a courtesy laugh.
Yeah.
You want to prepare some jokes first. You know what I mean? Run them by some people before you just get up there winging it. Okay. I don't know if you ain't got nothing ready. Then yeah, you may want to get prepared.
I mean, either y'all want me to freestyle or not. Y'all got to make up y'all mind. Anyhow, welcome to Lapeef-ING Sundays. Make sure you guys get them likes up. Also, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor, Teej Handling. Get 30% off along with a free gift. Feel it, Teej. That link is in the description. So make sure you go ahead and click that. Shout out to Sugar Curls. I saw Sugar Curls in the chat. Make sure you guys check her product out. She was a sponsor in Houston, and she came out and brought a whole bag of goodies. And from what I know, because I used it this morning, and from what others have said, that it's top notch, y'all. So go ahead and get your Sugar Curls as well. Plan on seeing her in Atlanta as well. You know, come out and meet her.
Do you have a preference between like Teej or Sugar Curls, or do you alternate like one?
Well, Teej is strictly for the skincare.
It's for the skin. Sugar
right?
Curls for the
hair. Sugar Curls is for the hair, so you can't put any Teej on the beard. I wouldn't suggest it. I'm pretty sure there's some freaking natures out there that have been experimenting and feeling a little bit of bold. We use that word bold, but not I. I'm not using Teej on the hair. Okay.
You know, we got some, since I'm in between beards right now.
I'm always not in between beards.
When y'all get, well, how do you treat your skin under your beard hair? How do you get, the Teej Handling product to get into your jawline, into your cheeks? You know, if you only use a shampoo, how do y'all really deal with that?
How do you feel the Teej?
Damn. All right, so you guys asking me that? I asked that question.
You ain't King Rio got him a little, I don't know if that's a shadow, but it looked like a thunderous beard too. So
thunderous. That's a new word. I'm about to tell Rilla to put that down. Oh, I see you feel a little bit thunderous today. That was another joke. I guess y'all called it later. It's cool. It's cool.
I got you, dog.
We'll help you later, dog. We got you.
Yeah, no, but to answer your question, it's very important for men to shampoo their beards. I had to learn that the long way because I had a lot of buildup and couldn't figure out why my beard was feeling gooey. But the shampoo stripped it. Get you a good shampoo. Just got to try some. I mean, to me, everybody's hair is different. So what works for somebody else may not work for you. Maybe it does. Just try it. Strip all the dirt out and then condition it. That's the best thing that you can really do. You can't really, every now and then you can oil your skin, but because that's covered up, it's not going to show like the rest of your skin. So as long as you maintain the hair, the skin should follow. Every now and then you may get an ingrown hair, but nobody knows because they can't see it. So you could probably go through some phases up under there and not even realize what's going on there. As long as you keep it clean, and soft and moisturized, you got nothing else to worry about. So that's just a little
hot oil treatment on your beard?
I don't do none. I haven't done none of that shit yet. No, I haven't done anything extra besides you hop in the shower, you shampoo, you condition. And I try not to shampoo every day. I make shampoo every other day just because I don't want it to dry out. And I am still playing around with it, but I've been using that Sugar Curls like crazy. So it's been doing some wonders, as you can see. See that fluff?
Can you do a blowout on your beard, like with a blow dryer?
I do it like every couple weeks because from what women say, I guess the heat damages your hair, right? It does. What the hell is that shit?
Got a little
Come on,
feedback.
Cal.
That sounds like a StreamYard testing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe Cal be doing like the little children's like
No,
little
man.
what's the little hand puffy things?
The ventriloquist.
No, not the little puppet, the little hand puppets. Maybe he might go behind the desk or something and come over and say, "Hey, how are you doing all that?"
right over here.
Okay, so that joke on funny then.
Children's.
Okay, I'm gonna take that one
May not be a bad idea, but go on.
Anyhow, let's get to the show, man. Let's get to the show. I know you guys tired of hearing my corny jokes. We will be in Atlanta, August the 5th and the 6th. That link is pinned to the top of the chat. We are putting a lot of work into this production here. This is going to be A1. We are trying to step it up. We're trying to blow minds. We are trying to have everybody talking about the LAPEEF experience. So make sure you guys grab your tickets because we are working behind the scenes to make sure we bring y'all nothing but the best. Grab your tickets. Appreciate it if you have grabbed it. There are no more early bird special tickets, but that's fine. I mean, people hopped on it. Snooze, you lose. But guess what? There's more tickets available. We would love to see you guys. We do have a meet and greet for the VIP. You guys will have a couple hours before the show starts to actually meet and talk one-on-one with us. Ask us the questions you need, any game you need. It will all be there. Take pictures with us. It's going to be a vibe. If you miss out, it's on you. Catch the next one. I think we're hitting DC next, possibly. Or maybe we might take it on the yacht. Who knows? We'll see.
Is it on a yacht?
Shh. You guys be talking. Shout out to Real in the chat. Real coming through. Beating that chest. Keeping it 1,000 wow. Host studs. Beta simp. All that good stuff, man. Shout out to Real, man. That's the homie. Let's dive right into our first topic after we hit the like button. Let's get the likes up, y'all. Come on, hit the likes. Hit the likes right now. Yeah. Somebody get Amber a coffee. Like she blink one more time. She gonna collapse. She gonna collapse right in that seat. Somebody get us some coffee. Give her a double shot of that espresso over there.
No, I'm chilling this.
Come on, Cal. Drop a little bit down below. Drop a little bit.
Medical marijuana.
Right.
Look at him getting straight to the point. So that explains why it's looking kind of foggy over there on your end, Hank. What you smoking over there, young man?
Does look foggy.
Yeah,
real cloudy.
Yeah, like he in an interrogation room over there.
Right. No, I'm in the office right now. I'm still working. I'm still working progress.
Right. Tell Larry Hoover I said, "What's up, brother?" Moving on to our first topic of the night.
Of the night?
Oh shit! It's too early. I told y'all.
You
Man.
need
See how y'all call me. I like how y'all hold me accountable. I like how y'all hold me accountable. I like that. I appreciate that. It's too early, as I said. But first topic of the day, of this morning. Is that better? Okay.
Get it right. Come on.
All right. Should a woman's bad behavior be checked in public or private? I know it kind of threw y'all for a loop. I heard the huffs and puffs. It's cool. It's just an opener. I'm not saying men are above check, but I don't really see too many men getting checked. But let me give a little bit more context. If a woman's
Can you define bad behavior? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So like bad behavior may be, being too loud. Being too loud. So if a woman is being a little bit loud, a little bit much than what you would like her to be, and I'm not saying she's under your spell, but there's bad behavior because we often hear in this space that men need to check bad behavior. I could flip it and say, should a woman check a man's bad behavior? But that don't sound right. But does that sound right to you, ladies? A woman checking a man's bad behavior? Should a man's bad behavior get checked as well?
I mean, I really think that's something you have
so layered. It's such a layered question.
Okay, I was like a choir this Sunday morning. Y'all always talking at the same time. I heard that melody, but go ahead. What was that?
I think it should if he's acting trashy. I mean, but just don't do it in public. Do it in private. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so then what's bad behavior for a man? And then we'll
do you
go back
have
to the original
story?
question.
Do you have a story? Like maybe something happened and
See, I know what you like to do, Miss
Personal
Kelly.
experience.
I know what you like to do. You like to dig deep and just try to get folks talking. That's not what's happening right here, young lady. But
Was there a time where a woman's behavior got out of check and you had
I
to check it?
I seen a video where the two was going, they was going back and forth. I didn't want to play it because it was a little too long, and I had just seen it. And the man attempted to check the woman's behavior, and then she wound up checking him. So it wasn't for his behavior, but she wound up checking him in public. And I just made me think, like, damn, like, if a woman is doing something that you don't like, do you wait till you get home and then address it, or do you just stop it right there?
I guess
It depends on what it is. Yeah, it depends on what it is. Because that could be embarrassing if you just like, hold on, you don't talk to me like that in public. Like, I'm grown up too. But
I really think it does. It also depends on like the nature of their relationship, because two people who get along really well and communicate really well, if one of them gets out of pocket, I think you can come back from that. You can kind of get your partner to stop without treating them in front of everybody. There's a difference between getting someone to stop their behavior versus trying to embarrass them in front of somebody or exact your authority in the relationship. So like you could just be like, hey, babe, calm down with all that. Like we're in a show and she hooping and hollering a little too much. You can tastefully tell your girl to calm down versus checking her, dragging her out of there and taking her into the hallway and treating her like that. So, but on the flip side, if it's something outrageous, your partner is about to get into a fight with somebody else in public and deep down, that your partner is in the wrong, then yeah, I mean, you shouldn't necessarily treat her, in front of everybody, but you got to be serious in regards to checking her. Like it doesn't have to be some verbal shouting, but you can definitely remove yourself from the situation and then check them directly. Like, hey, you're wrong for what you did. I don't agree with what you said or whatever it is. I think everything should be handled in a tasteful manner if this is supposed to be the person that you're with. But I mean, yeah, public treatments, it really does depend on what's going on. If it's like people are in danger, then you got to be direct about it and be forceful about it maybe. But just cursing somebody out in any kind of circumstance, I don't really think that that's warranted. And I think that will go back to the nature of their relationship in general.
I want to say this real quick. And I know, Hank, I seen you came off the mic. I purposely used the word check because I know it's one of those trigger words, just like submission. Check doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It just all depends on once you hear the word, how it processes and comes into the side of your head. So check is not a bad thing. You can use like redirect. You can, there's some other words out there. Y'all know what I mean. But go ahead, Hank.
Can I go after Hank?
Sure.
No, what I was going to say, man, if she's acting drunk and belligerent, you just might have to just do it right then and there. I mean, just pull her on out and say, man, you need to chill out, back that off. And, you have to do something. You have to address it. Because if you don't address a situation like it, it's going to get out of hand. It's going to become more common and more common. And you don't need that. So like you said, and definitely have a stern conversation when you get in private. But, just say, whispering to her, hey, you might want to calm down,
As you guys respond to this question, keep in mind, as a man, how some women may interpret it as being controlling too. So just kind of keep that in mind as you guys answer, because some women don't know how it could be based off of their past experience from previous relationships. When they hear certain words or hear a certain tone, they may look at it as being, he's trying to control me. So go ahead, Miss Amber.
I think checking somebody in public, checking a woman in public is necessary, but correcting them in private. Meaning, for example, say like your girl is getting into it with a guy. She's going back and forth verbally. You already know it can get ugly. You tell her to get her ass in the car. You decide you are diffusing a situation. On the outside looking in, he checked her and she did that. But correcting her, meaning having the conversation. If they have an argument, like you don't do that in public, correct at home. But if it calls for you to check, absolutely. It's all about diffusing a situation that can get ugly, which means you may have to check your partner or your significant other.
I mean, and it depends the degree of what's going on. But, I would most likely walk up to her, palm her butt, whisper in her ear, calm that shit down before I embarrass us in here.
Palm the booty.
Jay, you from New York, right? Ain't you? That's how y'all handle that. Kiss her on the forehead and be like, "Hey, girl, be quiet.
Yeah.
Stop
Boy, Jay probably got some Tims on now. Go ahead, Jay.
With some summertime Tim.
Calm that shit down before I embarrass us in here. You know.
Hey, man, I like that, man. That's a good way to still get your point across, but kind of lure her in. I see you, man.
Yeah, and you do it in a loving way. That's I get.
They're playing that Usher song, "Seduction." Watch Miss Courtney Michelle laugh because she's an Usher fan.
I love Usher.
Talk about Usher, a fan.
Baby. Well, shout out to the super chat, homie talk with G11. Have you all ever heard the term praise them in public, correct them in private? I think that's the best way to handle it. I think that's kind of what Jay was just talking about too. Just kind of, give maybe a gentle hand and Amber giving a gentle hand in public, but directing, addressing it in private, that may be the best thing to do. But so in that case, does it even matter what's going on? Or, is it always the initial response to remove yourself from that situation? Amber, the way you were talking about in terms of getting into it with a man and then getting in the car. So is that always, or should he just tell her to stop and then y'all stay there and keep on with your night?
I mean, I hate to say it depends, but when you're thinking about a situation like that can escalate to ugly, you want it just to diffuse it. Meaning, if you have to tell her ass, get your ass in the car, because it can really turn ugly. Because then you can go to blows as a man with the other man she's arguing with, or sometimes if she's arguing with the waiter, like, "Yo, babe, I got this," So on the outside looking in, he can check her politely, like, "Yo, you know what, be easy, I got this." That's also a form of check. But then when we get home, like, why every time we go out, you acting a fool? That's the correction that needs to be done in private.
That's why I said I would embarrass us, because, you know what I'm saying, you raising the stakes. Like, don't let me go above what you're doing, what I think you're doing right now. And also, I mean, when I go out to eat, if it's somebody that I've been with for a while and I'm comfortable, I usually sit on the same side, like in the booths. I don't sit across from them. I sit side by side with them. You know what I mean?
That's
so
the best way to do it.
It'd be easy to just lean over and be like,
do you sit on the outside or the inside, Jay?
Outside.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think we take the word controlling in a negative connotation, which necessarily doesn't have to be negative. Controlling is what a leader is supposed to do, supposed to control the situation. So if something were to pop off, he needs to be able to control the situation. And if your woman treats you like a leader, she's going to respect you and chill the hell out. So there's a way to check. It doesn't have to be niggerish. It doesn't have to be so hood. You better sit your ass. It ain't gotta be all that. You need to chill. And we're gonna talk about this when we get home. But her as a woman should respect you as a leader, understanding you're controlling, like you said, Amber, diffusing the situation, and we'll handle it when we get home. I think about it as a child, a mother and a child, a father and a child. You give that child that it's going to be popping off at home. But in public, I'm not going to embarrass you. I think that's the last thing that you should do. Now, depending on the situation, you might have to jack up and pull out of a store or whatever. Sometimes that's needed. Now, I've seen situations where someone should have got jacked up, but embarrassing, no. Checking, yes, I don't think that's a bad word. Again, I don't think controlling is a bad word. You're supposed to control the situation. If you lead, then you have the ultimate control.
I don't know if that eye was kind of bad. It looked kind of sexy. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but there are men that are controlling. Like, they will try to make you stop doing something that is your personality. And I don't think that you should do that either. Like, if you're in a movie theater and you're laughing, like, "Oh, you're laughing too loud. You need to be quiet." I think that is like controlling. But if you're at the dinner table and you're drunk and your tone gets too high, yeah, I'd be like, "Baby, can you just keep it down a little bit? Like, people are watching," like something like that. But I don't think you should make them be something that they're not. If the person that they are you don't like, I don't think you should be with that person. Because I've had guys do that. Because when I'm in a movie theater, I'm laughing. I think it's funny. I'm gonna laugh. I don't care who's laughing. But they're like, if you're laughing too loud, no one else is laughing. I don't care. I'm still gonna laugh. It's funny to me. But if you're at dinner and it's, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's also a balance. So anybody that's taking control overboard, which people that are in control can, and that's a character flaw. So, and I don't want to take it to the extreme because those situations do happen, but a man of good character and integrity that wants to be a great leader understands there's a way that you talk to people to be able to get them on your program. However, you can't be shy about it. You have to speak up and say something, but there's always a way to go about a thing. But nah, Kelly, if you loud in the movie theater, I'm gonna tell you to be quiet too. I can't stand y'all. I'm trying to watch the movie.
I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna
be
laugh.
quiet. Oh, I can't stand y'all in the movie theater. Oh, loud.
So you're saying if the movie is funny, you're saying if a movie's funny and you find it funny, you're not gonna laugh. You're gonna be like,
yeah, I'm gonna laugh, but you probably one of the ones to be talking through the movie. Girls,
I'm like, oh my God, did you see that?
That's you. Your man need to check you. And he's right. He needs to tell you to be quiet.
I'm gonna get Rio in there real quick. Go ahead, Rio.
I feel like in a situation like that, there's a way, like Courtney, how you said it, it's kind of funny. Like I feel like there's a way that you could, I don't even know if I want to use the word check, but you could use your sense of humor to let somebody know, all right, relax a little bit. You know what I mean? Or you could have nonverbal cues because you have a relationship with that person where they kind of understand. If it gets to the point to where you have to check a person publicly in a way that might call them to be defensive, then I think that's a recipe for disaster. It's getting both of y'all getting ready to be embarrassed in there. Right. So if we get to that point, you want to pull somebody to the side and then you want to talk to them privately and then decide whether or not you should even stay there. But you don't want to make a spectacle, a bigger spectacle, you know what I mean, than what's already occurring. That's in my opinion.
Well, is there any line to like unconditional support in any kind of situation, Rio, you know, to follow up? Like, let's say y'all in a restaurant. I think someone mentioned if your girl is arguing with the waiter, let's say, about how they got their order wrong, should you as the man pop up and be like, yeah, you got her order wrong, she right, you bogus, all of this need to be free? Or do you be like, hey, babe, just relax, it's just, you know what I mean, this is just food, you know, calm down? Like, how do you play that balance?
It's been, that's a personality and an archetype, because I've learned what one person do in one aspect of their life, they typically do in every aspect. So she's going off on the waitress for something as, you know, messing up their food. She's probably going off on everybody in her family, her friends, and that's more of a personality thing, and you got a bigger problem on your hands.
I think if she addresses
the goddamn restaurant, that's what I'm gonna do. Leave her ass at the damn restaurant. Get out of there.
Well, what? Okay, so what?
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I know Rio was.
Cal, I think if she addresses that issue, and she gets a respectful response from the waiter, and they're trying to correct the issue, I think we leave it there. We might be able to talk about it later. It went kind of hard, you know what I mean? But if she addresses it in a way that she feels necessary, and they respond appropriately, then we're good. If they respond appropriately and she continues to mistreat the waiter, then that's when we have a problem. That's when, yeah, I am going to check you about it. And probably in front of the waiter, because you're not going to just continue to be, you know, disrespectful, you know, in this public establishment to the waiter. We're not going to do that. Now, if the waiter responds disrespectfully, well, that's when I have to intervene. And that's where I'm going to check the waiter to my standard and make her feel supported and protected. But like I said, it's one thing, you get upset, you feel you had to express yourself in a way that you had to respect, the way that you had to present your problem to the waiter. However, if you're going to continue to do that throughout our experience at the restaurant, then that's when we got a problem.
Yeah, but man, I mean, if the waiter got belligerent because your old lady got belligerent, that's on her. I'm checking her.
Yeah, but we got to ride together at that point. You know what I'm saying?
I don't give a damn.
We got to ride together at that point.
Wrong.
But what if she's standing up for an injustice?
If she started that bullshit, then I got to correct her. I'm not going to correct that way because she started the bullshit. I'm gonna go to the source. I'm not. I don't blame this man for responding like that. If somebody come at me wrong, I'm gonna come at them wrong. I don't blame that. But you can't be coming wrong and then don't expect this man to lash back. That ain't right. I'm gonna check you and say, baby, calm down. Calm down. You wrong for this.
And is that check line, like a whisper? Is that a whisper check when the waiter walk off? Or are you doing that, hey girl, you gotta relax, you know what I mean? Where maybe the table next to you can hear you.
Well, like Jay said, since I'm sitting next to her, I'm giving a little elbow. Hey, calm down. You know, I'm giving an elbow, a little nudge right now. Hey, you out of character. But then as soon as we get in the car, I'm not gonna wait till you get home. Y'all better than me. I'm gonna talk about it in the car. So it's still fresh in my mind. I ain't forgot no details. I'm old. I gotta remember everything so I can talk about it. So we're gonna
All
talk
right.
about it in the car. We're gonna address it right there. So when we get home, we can make love.
All right,
Make
Hank.
everything
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, Hank, look at
Let me
you.
ask you a question about that, Hank.
Conflict resolution.
I seen your hand, Kelly. You want to go before me? All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can wait. I have it in my head, but I just don't want to be forgotten.
You good? Go ahead.
So, but what if she's standing up for an injustice? Because I go out to eat like a lot, and I went to this restaurant a couple days ago with my friends. It was me and two of my Hispanic friends, and we waited. We got on. We didn't. It was too late to get a reservation, so we waited about 25 minutes. And then when they sat us all the way in the back by the restrooms, by the emergency exit, and it was cold and it was dark and it was wet because it was raining, and like every time they opened the door, but there were seats available in the front. But I noticed like there were more Caucasian people in the front. So I walked to the front and I spoke to the hostess. I was like, why are we sitting in the back when all these other tables are available? Like, is that considered getting out of line? Because to some, that would have been me making a scene, but I was not happy with how they were.
There's nothing wrong with having a cordial conversation, but when you getting belligerent and damn near, you might as well just go and cuss the dude out. You done said so much already, you know. No, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about when you get belligerent, out of pocket, to the point where I'm afraid this waitress might do something to our food because you are way out of pocket. No, that's not right. Yeah, I'm gonna check it in. But no, you're not doing wrong. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even talk to the hostess. I would say, can I speak to the manager? And then after I spoke to the manager, if he didn't say what I needed to hear, I'm gonna get up and walk out. And I'm gonna send a review via email, via social media, whatever I gotta do.
Okay, I did get us moved though. Just saying.
Oh, that's cool. I understand. Long, you be professional as you can. Don't give them a reason to look at us in any type of way though. Well, that's the reason why we put them back there, because she's gonna show out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And
I want to give you.
Hold on, Kyle.
Okay, go ahead. I was going to shout out to the. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can do the super chats in the middle.
I was going to give you an example, Hank. And then I also want to know Kelly's response. Now that you just said what you said, so I'll give an example in a different. When roles are reversed, I was going to an establishment. It was for a party we had booked. A section, spent a significant amount of money to be there that evening, right? And I just so happened to get into a disagreement with the parking security or whatever you would call them. And it had already been established for my car to be in that valet section. And we were, for some reason, not able to align with what I was told with what I purchased. And I'm going back and forth with this guy, and it's kind of escalating. At that point, my woman kind of starts intervening verbally while I am in a back and forth with this man. Afterwards, I tell her, I said, listen, under no circumstances, if I'm in a back and forth with a man, do you back me down? If anything, you have my back, but you don't back me down when I'm in a back and forth with a man. It doesn't look like at that point we are in alignment. You know what I'm saying? Even if I was overreacting, tell me about it after, but don't back me down in the situation in front of him. You know what I'm saying?
So
And
was she
so
saying
when I
like, baby, calm down, it's okay, like that?
Well, no,
she just basically wanted me to concede.
well, it's
No,
one of
what was she
those.
doing? What was she saying? Like when you say she backed you down, what exactly was she saying? She was telling you to calm down or
Come
just
on, it's
let it
not that
go?
come on, it's not that serious. Just go to the other spot, like where like what he was telling me to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, as long as you wasn't being overly disgruntled, cussing at the man, dogging him out, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, I wouldn't want no. I said, baby, I'm good. My credit good. I don't need no cosigner. You understand what I'm saying? So don't undercut me. Don't do that.
Hmm
Let us handle the shit. and we'll go from there. As long as I'm being professional about it. Now, if I start to get silly, reckless, and talking silly and cussing the man out, and if she say something, then I'm wrong. And she remind me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
So would that be considered the female checking the man?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but if you wrong, you wrong. I don't give a damn what man or woman. You wrong, you wrong.
I mean, it's de-escalation.
Yeah, let me.
I would avoid him all the way. I said, man, let me talk to your manager. I'm tired of your straw. I need to talk to the broom handler.
Let me say this too.
Oh, go ahead.
Because this is also a part of also knowing who you're with. So sometimes you can check someone before the situation occurs or gets out of pocket. So I know I've been in situations where something happened and my God, we like, I already know what you're thinking. I got this. So it's knowing your partner, what will get them angry as well, or something that they might get annoyed by and already, at the beginning saying, no, I got you. Or like vice versa. Nah, babe, I already know this is about to, you about to get upset. Let me handle it. I'm the level-headed person. I can communicate maybe a little better than you are right now because I see where this is going to go. So it's also about knowing your partner. A lot of these behaviors can be checked even before it gets irate by you knowing your partner, knowing what gets them annoyed and knowing that they want social justice down there with Kelly or want to be respected by the server. No, baby, server's wilding. Look, I got this because I know this is going to get on your nerves. So
that's a good point, Courtney. For King Real, I mean, in your situation, I guess I would say I wouldn't want my man to get to the point where he's getting in a fight. Like, kind of like with the Jada Pinkett Will Smith situation, like I would have like calmed him down, like, honey, it's okay, like it's all right, just to calm him down, like to bring him down so he doesn't get to the point where he's fighting or getting in trouble. Verbally, like agreeing with the other gentleman, I wouldn't have done that, but I would have been like quietly, baby, it's okay, like grab his hand, like it's okay, but not to the point where it's embarrassing. You look like you're siding with the other guy, but just to calm your man down. I think sometimes that's needed. Because I like for her to let Will Smith go on the stage, I would have grabbed his hand, like, no, just like it's not that serious. Like, it's okay.
No, absolutely. I understand where you're coming from that standpoint. I was still in the car. You know what I mean? It was just when you feel strongly, like you said, when you feel strongly about something, there's an injustice. You don't feel like you're being treated fairly. You know what I'm saying? Or you didn't get what you paid for, right? We kind of need to be on one accord. And so that was the reason why I said if you were to address the server in the way that you feel that you needed to, and then the situation was able to be rectified at that point, we need to be on our best behavior. However, if we're getting the type of pushback that is not professional on their side, them being the ones who we are paying to be there, then I'm riding with you. You know what I mean? And that's just because that's how I want to be treated.
As long as there's no fighting, I got your back. I mean, even if there is fighting, I got your back.
Right.
See, I'm sympathetic to them.
But I'm trying to make sure it doesn't get to that point.
We hope it doesn't go there, right?
I mean, some checks do happen where the person trying to call themselves checking somebody could be wrong too. I mean, some of us do. I think Kelly might have spoke to it in terms of her in the movie theater. Sometimes, asking her to be quiet is really like an insecurity within ourselves that maybe we're just not comfortable with laughing out loud ourselves. So we want her to be quiet because we're not comfortable being that person. I know, if I'm out at a show with my wife and she the first person to be like, woo, I'm having a good time. She's that first girl in the audience to whoop, be like, babe, come on. And then by the end of the show, everybody's whooping. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, okay, maybe I was tripping, trying to keep her from whooping at the beginning of the show, thinking that we're not here for that. So it could just depend, but again, it depends on your relationship too, because that could be something that y'all laugh off, or it could turn into something crazy. It just really depends on how y'all communicate. So,
yeah. All right, let's move on, y'all. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to LAPEEF-ING Sundays. Make sure you guys get them likes up. Answer the question. What should a woman's bad behavior be checked in public or private? I think it's just kind of situational. If she's out of control, then you might need to let her know.
Throw over your shoulder and take her out of there.
Yeah, well, I ain't say all of that, but I do think that you should probably let her know. But you don't want to embarrass your lady, just like your lady shouldn't be trying to embarrass you. But I think Courtney made a good point about you typically know what type of woman you have. You know, if you go out, she gonna be ratchet. You know, if you go out, that she's gonna follow your lead. So I think vetting women properly is important, because if you got to the point where you have no control over her and you have to check in public, then I think you might have been at fault a long time ago. And so what typically probably happened is that you probably got embarrassed to the point where you didn't know how to express that embarrassment, so you just lashed out. But the bad behavior should have been corrected a long time ago in most cases. So that's my thoughts about it. All right, y'all. Let's get these likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, we are live August the 5th and 6th in Atlanta. The Lapeef Experience takes over Atlanta. That is pinned to the top of the chat. So make sure you guys come out and support. It's a 2-day event. We had King Talk, a Chic Critique, Keeping It Funky with Logic, and the Lapeef Let's Talk show, the main event. So come out and support. VIP does have access to us a little bit more than everybody else. So if you want to have a little bit of time away from the crowd, it's going to be a small gathering before the show on Saturday. You'll have access to that as well. So with that being said, Philly Teej again. Shout out to the sponsor, Teej channel. If you're new to the show, I do see some people coming in saying, hey, I thought we was talking about Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey. We are. And most of our shows, we have the main event there. So there are some things that we're going to talk about before, some things we're going to talk about after, and we throw that Lori Harvey in there. So we get into it. Just get your popcorn, get your coffee. It might be too early for popcorn. Get your bagels.
Appetizer conversation.
Yeah. Get your bagels and your muffins and come out and enjoy. Salute. So.
Sorry, I like food.
That's right. Fruits and veggies. Get your berries up, your strawberries and blueberries, and then bring those out too.
Yeah, there you go. And then make sure you brush your teeth this morning and floss. I got to get back on that again because I've been smelling some breath across the waves. Not on this panel.
What?
Yeah, I know. Tripped out, right? I said the same thing too. I got a little closer to my computer. Like, damn, that's some serious breath.
No.
That's only on Thursday.
Not on this panel.
Yeah, that's only on Thursday.
Look at Hick, man. Hick always be trying to
definitely not on Thursdays.
You guys talk about that's that Thursday energy. I don't know nothing about what you're talking about.
It's them musty men on Tuesdays. That's what it is.
Oh, wow.
Don't bring King Talk into this. Don't bring King Talk.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, Real. Let her know.
The wetty balls talk, okay?
Boy, y'all foul. Y'all ain't right.
Hey, Kat, I know we ain't doing it on Heathen Sunday, though. I know that.
Yeah.
Right. It's Peacekeeping Sunday. We keep the positive on the Sunday.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's,
so the Lapeef-ING Sunday panel has good hygiene.
Okay. Well, to be determined.
And Maserati teeth.
We'll find out in Atlanta, who's smelling good and who's smelling extra good. There's gonna be no stank there. What we're gonna just see is levels to it. Look at Rhea. Anyhow, let's get to this next topic, which is, should paternity tests be mandatory at birth?
I like that.
No.
Dang.
I don't think they should be mandatory. I think it should be normalized and something that, the same way they ask a woman, do you want an epidural? Are you getting, if it's a boy, are you getting them circumcised? It should be this within the same series of questions. But mandatory sounds like something that the taxpayers got to get in on. And I don't know if we should take it that far, because there's plenty of people out there who are not having no children. So, that should not be a thing that is a line item in our taxes necessarily. But yeah, I think it should be normalized. Absolutely. I think that when the nurse come in and, they get to asking you the questions, and are you the father? Are you about to sign the birth certificate? Before you sign this, would you like a paternity test? And then the man can say, no, this is my wife. I know this is my kid. Y'all laugh it off, and then she leaves with whatever information. Or if y'all don't get down like that with each other, you should be like, yeah, let me get that paternity test real quick. And then the woman who just had this child, she may feel how she gonna feel, but it is what it is on her end. You know what I mean? I, as a man, have to protect myself. If I have any doubts that she been in these streets like that, yes, that should be a normalized question that nobody should be offended at, to be perfectly honest with you, unless again you're in a committed relationship, married or whatever it is, then okay. But if it's a girl you just met 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden she send you a text message with a pregnancy positive test, and then she just be like, okay, what you gonna do? I feel like that should be definitely something that is normalized, and therefore, a normal thing that we all should be able to do as men.
I want to
Hey
go
man,
to.
you think the chick's gonna be sweating when she was having that baby? They start making this shit mandatory.
I want to get to Courtney, and then let me get Rio, and then we'll circle back around about.
Okay. Yeah, I do think it should be mandatory. And when you're pregnant, they check you for if you have any STDs. They all this kind of blood work to make sure the child is healthy. And I think that's a part of the child being healthy, knowing for sure who the dad is, making sure that's the dad. And also you're knowing on his side if there's any things going on with him that might affect the baby. So there's a plethora of reasons I think that at the beginning the child should know. We already know the mom is the mama, but make sure the dad is the dad. Health reasons, make sure that that child ain't living a life and then find out 15, 16 years after the fact that the dad is not his dad. I mean, that's some mental anguish. That's a whole lot of BS that you can put that child through. And even with the dad for his protection. So I don't think there's not one negative thing that will come out of making it mandatory. I can only see positives. You can't put a man on child support and then he come to find out it's not his child, and then he done spent thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. It protects the child. And then it holds some women accountable. You can't just be out here willy-nilly opening your legs and then get pregnant and then want to put it on him, knowing good and freaking well that might not be the daddy. But of course, women are not going to say that unless they are Maury. And we see how that went. So there's nothing negative about making it mandatory. It's only positive. So there's no reason why it wouldn't be.
I agree with you. I'm only thinking of just the cost or something like that. Like, we want to trust the health industry to put a fee on something like that, and then, call themselves giving it a fee that is way outrageous that now we all have to pay is my only thought. Otherwise, I agree with you. Just the fact that that's something that would cost money.
Yeah. Well, we have to get blood work done anyway. So that's just something that, that's just another part of the blood work. Both parents need blood work done and again, not even, let's just put not making sure the dad is the dad. Again, it can be health reasons as well, too. We need to know what the other side, that's 50% of that child, health benefits of, or something that could be going on with him. He might have sickle cell. You don't know. And so that might trickle down to your child. So let's know other complications that might happen. And you have to know that with knowing the dad stuff too. So I don't see anything. I just see, I don't see any why would there be a backlash unless you out here thotting and bopping and not knowing your dad, who the dad is. And then that needs to be checked. Keep your little legs closed, lady.
Yeah, right.
I have a story.
Hold on. We gotta go to Rio first.
I definitely think that we should normalize. I think Kyle, I think that's a perfect word. And Courtney, I think that from the accountability standpoint, I think it's absolutely necessary. I'm gonna tell you the truth as a man, right? If you are having unprotected sex with a woman and you have a child out of wedlock, it's almost a conversation that you are afraid to have. It's almost like it's one of those things you might as well call her out her name if you're gonna ask for a paternity test. You know what I mean? It is. It's like I don't even want to say the word bullying, but it's just like you just better not, right? If it's normalized and that's actually part of the system itself because you aren't married, I think that this is something that doesn't have to be uncomfortable for anybody. Kids that are born out of wedlock, oftentimes you may not even end up together. Children add stress onto the relationship. That's just what happens. Newborns, things of that nature. It really does. So there's a good chance, as mentioned, I think by Courtney, is you may not even end up together. You're on child support. How many men are on child support for kids who aren't theirs, right? Like that makes no sense. That's crazy. That's crazy, right? So let's just normalize it. Let's take the feelings out of it and say, hey, you chose to have kids before you were married, so this is part of the process. We just want to make sure before we ink him onto the birth certificate and make him legally responsible. So that's my take on it.
All right, before we get to the bottom, can we get the likes up? Somebody said that the ratio just don't add up. Can we get the likes up, family? It's free. That's all we ask for. Just hit the like button. And while you at it, if you're feeling extra, then go ahead and share the stream to somebody that may want to see this, because we are just now unfolding a lot of shit and we're about to get to the meat of this. So let's go ahead and hit that like button, family.
It's on you, Kelly.
Because you say you had a story.
I had a
Yes,
story, but I should probably go last because
came out looking like Drake. Say the
What?
baby came out looking like Drake.
No.
Oh shit, we've been dipping and diving.
No, I was.
Oh my God.
But just
I was asked for a paternity test for my son. I was extremely offended when he asked me, only because when I met him, I was a virgin and he was the only person, and he knew that. So he asked me because he told me he didn't think the baby looked like him, but the baby looked like me. It's not like he looked like another guy. So I was very offended. Like I refused. I refused to give him one. But later he explained to me that he was, and I knew he was adopted, but he explained to me he was adopted and he thought a particular gentleman was his father, and he didn't find out until they took a paternity test that he wasn't. So he was devastated. So he just kind of wanted clarity for himself. He said it wasn't saying that he didn't trust me. He just wanted to know without a shadow of a doubt because he had already been jaded. So in that case, I was like, okay, fine, let's do it. And then I was like, what were the results? He's like 99.9999999. I was like, exactly, I told you. But he just needed to know for himself. So to answer the question, I think it should be mandatory because women, we know because we're carrying the child. But men they don't have that 100% clear mind about it unless they see it on paper. And men are logical, so I can understand why they would want it or need it. But I would say that the negative part is, yeah, you get offended because it's saying that you slept with someone else. So as a woman, yes, I was offended, but I did understand after the fact, after he explained it to me. So
I do want to speak on this too. Just because a woman says that she's a virgin, it doesn't mean that it's the truth. So I understand up in your case, and you can wholeheartedly believe that I'm truly a virgin. The guy still may not believe it. So I just think that if a guy wants it and desires it, then just give it to him. Don't make a big deal about it, because it can be some past trauma that may be associated with it. But women lie, just like men lie. Women lie too.
And some women don't know. I know Kelly was like, the woman knows, but the dad maybe does. Sometimes some women don't know either. Depending on that woman, she had sex with a man 2-3 weeks.
No,
after
I mean, she knows that she's the mom. She knows she's the mom.
Yeah, she knows she's the mom, but she might not know who the dad is either.
And I'm gonna just throw this out there. I said this is a real thing. And if when you look back in your family history, talk to your people. Sometimes you'll find out that hey, there were multiple sexual partners, and not always was the right one selected. And people find out later that's not your dad. You know what I mean? Like that happens. That happens in the black family. I'm sure it happens in other nationalities as well. Sometimes they pick this other one because this one was married. Or there's a lot that goes on.
I mean, Maury Povich made an entire career off of you are or not the dad. You know what I mean? So
how many times you saw that woman running behind the stage? She was a track star back then, baby.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it should definitely be a normal question. It should be just as common as, like I said, it should be just as common as any other procedure that's going on. you know, with the birth of a child in the hospital.
Yeah, I agree with that. I always say that there's no human that's perfect. So if nobody's perfect, then anybody is not above making a mistake or doing corona. You can correct some behavior, but nobody perfect. Go ahead. I know Amber and Jay haven't spoken. Hank, did you speak on this yet?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I want to leave you out.
Right on.
But yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off of what Rio was saying, like it is a very uncomfortable circumstance. You know, I've had like one of my good homeboys was in that situation, and he just because, like you said, you felt offended, you know, and it's almost to the point you were offended to the point that he had to make up a story about being adopted so that he would truly know. You know, he had to give you like a backstory. You know, that's how some of us feel, like we have to justify so you won't feel offended. It's an offensive thing to ask, but it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary because, like everybody said, in our families, all of us have stories. You dealing with a few dudes, and the responsible dude who you think will be the good father, that's most likely the person that's going to get chosen. You know, if they have to choose, well, he's responsible, he got benefits, he got a good job, not this person. So I think if it was mandatory, it would pull all that awkwardness off the table, almost like prenups. I'm sure that's very uncomfortable. Two people about to get married that love each other, but one or the other has something to protect, and you got to be like, yeah, go ahead and sign this for me. Exactly.
Man, so Kelly, if hypothetical, if you were to get in a relationship with a man and get pregnant today, and he asked for the paternity test today, would you still have the same reaction of being offended, or given that you have a different understanding, you would support him in asking for that?
I'm not having any more babies, so I can't answer this hypothetical.
Or just a hypothetical. Or your best friend comes to you and says her man asked her for a paternity test. Do you say, "Oh yeah, girl, that's what he's supposed to do"? Or would you be like, "Oh man, I can't believe he did that. He knows that you're the only one he been with." How would you handle that?
I would say for his peace of mind, give it to him.
All right. Miss Amber, what are your thoughts about this? Should paternity test be mandatory at birth?
Yeah, I like the word. I guess normalized. So in another lifetime, I worked in the medical field. I worked in the dental field for 20 years.
Amber, you did everything.
I'm a cat. 9 lives. Hello, motherfucker. I like the idea of. I know we're talking all these situations where the conversation can be difficult between a man and a woman. If the hospitals made it just a typical protocol, kind of like what Courtney is saying, make it just a typical protocol, just like you have to fill out your health history, who the father is, the baby's born. Okay, before we sign, the birth certificate, we're going to take you to this room to do a quick paternity test. Like there's no questions asked. There's no asking for permission. It's literally part of the process and the protocol. So the conversations, and I think it should be for everybody, whether they're married or not. I mean, how many stories you hear about?
That's what I was going to ask. Should husbands and wives do it?
Everybody. Just it's part of the normal process, for so many different reasons. But besides just, obviously know who the father is, like Courtney said, health issues, you know what I mean? Past histories and things like that. If they just make it across the board, and even in the beginning when you choose your provider, this is what's going to happen once the baby's born. The next day before you sign the birth certificate, we're going to take a paternity test, and there's just no questions. It's literally, if you want to be at this hospital, work with this provider, this is what we do. It will alleviate uncomfortable conversations. It would alleviate, men being pinned with children that's not theirs. It just should just be part of the protocol.
Yeah, I agree with you, Amber.
Hell yeah.
Hank, what you think, bro? I'm curious. You feel like you're holding out. What are your thoughts on that?
Hank, someone said that you look like you on a set of Menace to Society.
He really does. Like
you're in the interrogation.
Oh, chaotic.
I just said that.
I would kiss my grits. Everybody in the chat.
You know you messed up.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm in the office, baby. I'm gonna get it together. Y'all give me some time. I'm gonna get the office together, baby. I'm gonna get it all the way right.
That was chaotic.
The hell with his black ass.
The hell,
Hey,
go ahead. I'm sorry. That was funny.
black men, protect yourself at all times. I don't give a damn. I don't care about her feelings. And if she gets in her feelings, like what Kelly was saying, I'm sorry, Kelly, but I don't care. I need to
It's
know.
okay.
I need to know. I'm not
I
worried
don't
about
care.
you. You'll get over that because I'm not investing my money into a child that's not mine.
I don't care.
I'm not. Why should I? And now you're going to try to throw it on me? No, you ain't going to throw that body on me. No, you're not. Because at the end of the day, it's all about responsibility. If it's my child, I'm going to take care of my child, especially some stray. And I know you've been a jump off. You've been bust down. You've been knocked around. Sure. The neighborhood strawberry chicks, I don't need to be getting pregnant. The hell with that. But of course, you shouldn't be going in there naked head anyway. So that's on you too.
And then, not to mention, think about the fact that you're getting emotionally attached. And then what if you find out 10 years later, damn, he look an awful lot like my cousin Frank or somebody. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
what I'm talking about.
Or
I'm
your
not
family,
invested.
or maybe not even you, but your family. I mean, the people who take care of your child as they grow up, and then you
Them
find
too.
out when they 7, 8 years old that that's not your child. Well, your mama been taking care of this kid forever. Your sister done called this boy her nephew since they've been born, and all of a sudden now you don't know. That's a whole domino effect that really
But at
doesn't.
that point, like, what do? Do you just stop loving this child?
I don't,
He's no longer mine.
some people will continue, you know, to be a father figure in that child's life just because at that point these two human beings love each other, right?
Yeah,
The child and the father, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
there's definitely going to be some serious animosity that's going to be, you know, between his family and the mother of that child, and obviously the financial responsibility that he carries. You know, at that point he would be doing a favor. It's no longer his responsibility.
I had
You
a
know,
friend find out when she was 26 that her dad wasn't her dad.
yeah, that's sad. That's
She
real
did
sad.
like
Yeah,
ancestry.com and
it's
she
a must.
like it was like her mom, she had all this matching DNA but zero with her dad. She's like, that's weird.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
then
it's a must.
they took the test.
It's got to be mandatory. It has to be. And as far as the taxpayer paying, shit depends on the. They probably already paying for the child being born. Period. So they might as well go and pay for the, get a DNA check. I mean, you might as well.
I'm gonna
And I
tell you
know a
too.
dude.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying I know a dude that that situation happened to, and the son, the boy, was the best thing that ever happened to him. Like that
Yeah.
was just something that came into his life, and I think he found out when the kid was like 7. It was something medically related. Found out, but he, of course, he was angry, but this is all this kid knows, as his father, and this is the best thing that ever happened to him. So he
Plus,
got he got
I
over it and still kept it. That's still his father.
and finding out when you're 26 got to be different than when you're
It
finding
was
out when
really
kids
hard on
7, 8
her.
years old. Like, is it easier? I'm thankfully I don't have to deal with this. I don't think I don't mess around and go get a DNA test for my dad. But I feel like maybe as a 26-year-old, you've already developed this lifetime relationship with this person, so that's still your fatherly figure, and you probably still call that person dad. Whereas when you're 8, 9 years old, it probably hits completely differently because you would have had a whole life ahead of them. This little kid is not your kid, so you can have time to detach yourself from them. So I feel like it would be a completely different circumstance. So I don't know what that would kind of
It
impact.
was really hard on her. Like she felt like she didn't know who she was after that. Like, if this is not my dad, like, who am I? Like, he's still your dad. He still raised you. He still poured into you. And she like had this like passion to go find her real dad. I was like,
I think
Yeah, and
my sister, she's my half sister. My mother had her when she was 16. My sister's half Black and Filipino, but she, to this day, my sister's 44. She doesn't know who her father is, what he looks like. All she knows, her father's a Filipino man named June. My dad married my mother when my sister was 5. And even though, she still calls him dad, my sister's empty. She don't, and it's I think it hits harder because there's another culture. There's another side of her. She don't know who she is. She don't know that side of the family. And, I definitely see some depression. And to this day, she doesn't have answers. So just as a parent, I saw chaotic in the chat, stop having unprotected sex. Like, there are consequences that you are affecting children's lives when we are reckless. Because my sister's a 40-year-old woman dealing with bipolar depression, and she don't know the other side of her family.
So this is one thing that I'll say that we got to be
Yeah,
prepared
we're gonna
for.
finish off with Rhea on this.
This is something I say we got to be prepared for. If in fact they would implement something like this, is it will also expose sexual abuse, because sometimes women are being, assaulted or abused or whatever term we want to use, and they rather just say it's the boyfriend rather than something happened to them. You know what I mean? And not only is that an uncomfortable conversation publicly, they don't know what type of turmoil that may cause within their social sphere, within their family, but then also later on down the line to have to explain that to their child. It's a lot of uncomfortable conversations that will result from this, So I don't know, sometimes the mothers have their reasons, when it comes to that, but at the same token, I don't know if everything is best left unsaid. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Sometimes the
There
truth
should be
just
no
has to
excuse.
be what it is. The truth just sometimes has to be.
There's no excuse for that bullshit, though. I don't give a
Yeah.
damn, man. I don't care
Yeah.
how uncomfortable. If she had to go in a dark place and tell that story.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? That
Yeah.
child or that person, they owe it to that person to know the
I
truth.
agree.
So
I
you
agree.
was a hoe. Accept it. Move on. Your whole ass shouldn't have been out there hoeing. But now you got to tell that story on who my daddy is. Hell no.
All right, Hank with the raw and uncut. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef Sundays. I heard the like ratio is down. Anybody know where we are with the likes? Are we down?
Come
Let's
on,
just
guys. You don't like
yeah.
us?
Let's just take a moment and hit the like button. That's all we ask for. We do have a few super chats that came through. Any lady want to volunteer to read the super chats?
I'll read them.
Okay.
Right on.
All right.
Lifestyle, $5. Miss Courtney got a point. She must respect you as a leader first, then she loves you. Eugene Steele, $5. Thank you, Eugene. If you check a person publicly, it can be embarrassing for both people. Agreed. Dub Will 88, $2. Thank you, Dub Will. Shout out to the Sunday fam.
Shout out to you, Dub Will.
That must be one of your homes.
Gary Stewart, $5. Best Sunday morning show in the nation. Real talk.
I know, that's right.
I agree with Gary Stewart.
All right, this is what I was referring to. And he must be new to the show. But go ahead, Miss Kelly.
Kevin C, $5. What happened? Damn it. I was pulling for Michael B and Lori Harvey. I needed them to get married, be happy, and make some cute Jordan Harvey kids. Dub Will, $5. Thanks again. Bump that, Kyle. Hell yeah. Give me the DNA test. Tam, 199. So, are you DNA testing if you are married? I think we already answered that.
Gentlemen, what are you guys' thoughts? Well, I guess Courtney should have in.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Hey, you can marry a hoe.
Yeah.
So you got to check her.
Women do lie, so I mean, if it's an option, yeah, go on, take my blood and just make sure.
A woman gave birth to a twin with different fathers.
Damn.
Interesting. Silent Sniper. Do you guys believe if a man is paying child support for a child that's not his and the true father is found, should the father pay the beginning balance of the child support back to the other guy?
No.
Now the mama should pay the balance.
The mother should definitely.
Hold on. Why not, Courtney? You said no.
Did I read that right?
Question.
Go back to that. Did I read that right? I think I read should the biological father pay?
If the first guy who thought he was the guy who thought he was the father was paying, and then they found the real father, should he pay the other guy back?
Should the
I'm trying to
the real father.
The real father pay the guy who was assumed to be the father. That's not the real. Why the real father need to pay the man back? That's not his fault. The woman needs to pay that man back because she
Right.
Send her as
falsely
the
said,
collection.
Cool with that too.
yeah. No,
I mean, my bread.
he falsely put a man on child support that wasn't the dad. She knew because she knew who she slept with. And so she deserves that man needs to sue her, and she needs to get locked up for unpaid child support if she can't pay.
Send her ass to collections. I'm garnishing wages.
What's good TV? We should not normalize trust. Can we make it typical? Why bring the court of law?
She
Because
sounds
we have a morality issue in America. That's why you can't. It's a morale issue, and it's a child that can't control if the trust is broken or not. You don't know. So facts are facts. Logic is logic. So get all that. You can't trust everybody. You know.
If the mom cared about making sure the dad was bonded to the child as possible, she would want the test done. Oh, refined. Was it debonair? Debauch? What's good TV? My son, baby mother died. Now we are having to go to court. If she belongs to our family.
She has to get a court order, she said.
Oh, they have to get a court order.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? That's
why you actually got it from the giddy up.
It should be normalized, but the father should be able to opt out if he wants.
Why would he do that?
Marcus Uramishi? Monogamy in part literally evolved in multiple species because of this concept of paternity and security. Males in the animal kingdom don't invest resources in offspring they don't confidently claim.
You damn right. I'm not investing into the child.
All right. I would definitely appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Kelly. Let's get these likes up, family. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Moving on to our next topic. And I seen this post. I thought it was pretty funny. Let me go ahead and pull it up real quick. Do women ever worry about their performance in bed or only blame men? And then somebody responded by said, I once shouted, please participate when she was on top and doing absolutely nothing.
I know, that's right.
Guess we should let the ladies go first on this one, right? Y'all go ahead. Courtney, I'm looking at you. Go on, kick us off, Courtney.
Talk your shit, Amber. Talk your shit, Amber.
Man, like, hey, you know what's crazy is when I saw this, I'm like, damn, like when there's not no good chemistry in bed, the man usually is held accountable, right? It's just usually the man's fault, right?
Absolutely.
So has there ever been a time where a woman stepped up and I'm trying to think if I heard some women say that they didn't do some things particularly well. I'm trying to think. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead while I think.
I should go last.
Oh shit! It got real quiet.
Y'all quiet, right? It's so quiet. You know what, man?
What is the actual question? Do women ever
Go ahead, Amber. Don't
worry
talk
about your performance.
All right,
I gotta perform right now.
It just seemed like they all got stressed out by this question.
I'm just trying not to.
We'll get the holy water. My God.
Do women ever worry about their performance in bed? Whew, oh.
Listen,
hey,
ladies, you got to keep
it. I'm gonna keep it funky, Amber.
What's that gymnast's name? What's that gymnast? Simone Biles. You need to be Simone Biles in the bed. I'm sorry. The acrobats, the flips, the squats.
Oh my God!
Like Pilates, yoga, hanging from the chandelier. Y'all got to come with.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, okay.
Do
women ever worry about their performance in bed? I think some women do. I think there's some women that just lay there and expect the man to do everything. There's some women like that. I'm not that woman, but I think. But yeah, I asked. Oh, really? No, you like this. You like what I do it like this. I want to know if you like what I'm doing. What I need to do better, baby. Let me watch this video real quick. So I don't. You should care about your performance. Again, you want your man to please you. You need to please your man. And so if you do something, ask him. How do you want me to do it? How do you want me to?
Look at Hank face.
How do you want me to do it?
I never seen it.
agree.
Like,
I
like
agree with that. I agree with that, Courtney.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I'm
Yes,
loving
the
this.
women
Yeah,
should
I'm
be.
loving this.
Yes, the answer is yes. The women need to be concerned about their performance. Yes, you need to perform. You can't just sit there like a corpse. You know,
So like a corpse.
Like, put on a show.
That's right.
I don't know if women are concerned. I feel like if they bring the wet, then they feel like they did their job. We've arrived. You can do everything else. But I don't believe that. I don't worry about my performance because I believe in custom sex.
JR,
I don't
sorry,
think
JR, it's choppy. JR, saying it's choppy.
Fuck out of here.
No.
Should I wait?
No, go ahead, Kelly. I was feeling what you were saying. You
Hold on. Should we address this? You gotta make sure you're not saying this choppy a bit. Let me just make sure. Hey, chat. Let us know how we looking. Put a 1 in the chat if we good. Is it a 1? 1 in the chat, y'all? I remember what I... God damn. Hold on. Hey, just monitor the chat to see what they're saying, or you can monitor the stream. Just hold down for the conversation. I might have to set up another one. I thought we was done with this.
Check your settings too, everyone. Your camera settings. I turn mine down to standard definition to see. Sometimes that helps if your settings is on a lower definition. Your video.
I honestly think that it's just a StreamYard thing. Honestly, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I still hear still kind of choppy.
All right, hold on. I have to set up another one. Hold on. I don't know what it is.
Somebody said ladies were saved by the audio.
I ain't never scared. Do you hear me?
Look at God at work, okay? Look at him. I serve a mighty God. Do you hear me? Yes, he comes through. Might not come when you want him.
Hey, Courtney Michelle, how's it? It's still bad.
Hold on, let me put it.
Courtney, I thought we was doing church.
Like I tell you what, just keep monitoring that. Y'all just have some little simple conversation. Courtney, keep monitoring and let me know. I'm gonna start setting up the next stream right now.
Go ahead, Kelly. It's on you.
It sounds good to me.
Go ahead, Kelly.
They
Yeah,
saying it sound better.
Yeah,
You sound better. Excuse you.
Oh, that's my chair. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's
I said, man, I saw Jay moving up. I'm like,
in that bunker.
Somebody forgot to mute.
Thought I had a bubble.
Say we good now. Good now. I'm gonna still set up another one in the back just in case.
Okay, Kelly. It's on you. Don't get out of the conversation.
I'm not afraid to have it.
I'm interested.
I was saying,
you sounded kind of creepy right now. Chill
I
out.
did. In the dark room with people like.
There y'all go. There you go, Kelly. Don't side on that bullshit.
What I was saying was,
back here, baby.
There are. Do y'all hear that, chat?
Yeah. So yeah.
What I was saying that I believe in custom sex because I don't believe that you should. Just because you were with someone before and they liked a certain thing, that doesn't mean your new partner will like what you did with that other person. So I think that there should be a conversation. Yes, it should be like we're telling a story together. Like, okay, you pay attention, you notice what the bodies are doing, but also there needs to be a conversation like, what do you like? I want to do what you like. I want to make sure you're happy. I want to make sure you're pleased. How do you like it? How fast, how soft, how rough, hard? Like, tell me what you want. And then I can do what you want versus what I was doing with someone else because they may not like it. Does that make sense?
I mean, it seems like a lot of people don't even think of sex that way. It's just like there's the build up to have it, and then they rush through that, and then they like to talk about it after. But the act itself is not as thought about as you say. So I feel like maybe that's why the question is even had of instead of you asking what do you like, you should just do what you like and make me like it. You know, is that not a?
I'd be like, what's your position? How do you like it? I'm not gonna get into it. But like what, like tell me what you like, how you want it,
Go ahead, Kelly.
where you want it. Let's do it. Because it's important. Like I would want my man to be satisfied. I don't want him to feel like, man, that was some whack ass sex, and then he goes and tries to find something that keeps him excited. No, I want you to be excited right here before you go to work. After, when you get home, like on lunch, I'll show up with lunch in a quick. Like I want you to be happy. Like I don't want you to go anywhere. So if you're with me, you're gonna get it.
And for clarity, Kelly, what city are you in? What city are
you in? You're married.
I'm just trying to play matchmaker. Trying to play the Lapeef dating service is going. Hank,
I said we should do that.
Amber,
I said
all
we
y'all.
Hey, I told you, y'all, we're gonna get that show going. We're gonna get it going.
Lapeef dating.
That's important because that's a huge part of a relationship. No, my father used to always say, sex is not something that you do every day. Like you have to like. Not every day. 24 hours of the day. Like maybe you might do it 2 hours a day, but you still have to like that person. But he said, when you wake up in the morning, that is your build up to your sex at night. He said, like how you talk to the person, like the attitudes you have with them, like the conversations you have. You call them, you flirt a little bit, like all that's building up to like the chemistry at night. Does that make sense?
Is that something that comes with age? Or that understanding, is that something that comes with like age and experience, or should we expect like a 22, 25-year-old to have that same kind of value? Because kids are having relations younger and younger, so you figure by the time they get to a point where they're serious about a long-term relationship, their idea of the act of sex might be completely different than what we might expect it to be when we were younger. So is that something that comes with age, that kind of understanding, or what's the expectation?
I don't know. So I had a really great relationship with my father. He used to always talk to us when I'm one of 4 daughters. So when Eva's turned 18, he like sat us down and he gave us a list and he said, this is how you keep your husband happy. So he like literally made us write all these things down. I thought it was a joke. I literally laughed. But then I realized like, oh my God, this stuff is like, this is it, like entering a man's mind. Like it was like legit. It really worked. So
wait, yeah. Was it about sex?
So we had no. I mean, I had conversations with him about sex because I am not a man. I don't know. I don't understand how men are, but he did. And I would ask him, Dad, what about this? What about this? Like if I heard something, I would ask him, like, and he would answer my question. He was always very open and honest about everything that I wanted to talk about. So I don't know. I feel like I understand men better because my dad was open with me and explaining how they think and what they want and what they expect and what makes them happy. So, and I think like sex is a huge part of it. Like it's like there's what men think about sex every 10 seconds or something. So it's a big deal to them.
When we were younger, yeah.
Well, I don't think I could talk about I mean, I talk to my dad about a lot, but as far as sexually pleasing a man, I never had that conversation. Now, I have watched a Pornhub a couple times.
I wanted to know.
Peep that out. I was like, oh, that's how you
Listen,
ladies.
Hey. You should be making that man's toes throw up gang signs. Like the woman should be responsible for the performance.
But
don't get quiet.
They accept the blame if they don't please. Is that what y'all saying? Y'all accepting the blame?
Not gang signs, right?
Well, Kel actually makes a great question. Does that kind of mentality of a woman really caring about performance and pleasing, does that come with age? And I would say yes, I think so. Yeah. When a woman is older, more comfortable with herself, and I think, when a woman is more comfortable in herself sexually, then she wants to show you. And I think the older women get, I mean, sometimes some of us is focused on maybe turning you out. So
the thing is, to women, I think in their 40s,
your eyebrows,
in their late 30s, women in their late 30s and 40s hit their sexual peak. In their late mid 30s to I think mid 40s, women hit their sexual peak. So depending on how many men she's been with or just stuff she's been experimenting with her own body, she is comfortable with what she wants, but she's also paying attention to what that man wants. Typically, you would think like Kelly said, listen to what or pay attention to what he likes or what he says and rock that shit out. It's not hard.
So
I
let me
heard.
ask a question. So I think oftentimes with men, we will base our performance off of whether or not you orgasm, your responses during sex, various things like that. For the women who don't communicate as much as the three on this panel said as far as asking questions, do you think women in general are gauging their performance based upon whether or not we come or not, or
Because
what's
you can
the
come with your
indication?
hand and lotion. You can come with your jerkin situation.
Right. So how do you feel most women are gauging their performance? Because me personally, I don't hear a lot of those
If
questions like
if
how well did I do tonight? You
if
know what I mean, kind of thing.
if the box is wet, they feel like they did their job. I feel like
Got you.
I arrived with the wet box. It is your
Mm,
job now.
Yeah,
Take over.
yeah. I noticed when
I don't
you're
know. What do you ladies think? I don't. That,
I
but
don't.
I mean, I've talked to my friends, but they don't like Hispanic friends. They get it in, but like,
It's a little
but like,
longer of a clap.
he hit it twice. He hit it twice.
That was slow motion. Is that a new cup, JR?
That was a double
Nah,
clap.
that was I think I was just listening a little bit harder.
I don't think women necessarily.
Oh my God.
Okay, then. All right. We don't think about the performance because I think a lot of us think because men will have sex and they know how to get theirs in. It takes a little longer, a little bit more in depth for a woman. So we're just like, if you just get vagina, that's good enough. I don't have to do the extra because I mean you're gonna come anyway. So why do I have to do all that? I don't have to put in the extra diddy because you're gonna get yours. Now I know
No,
we've talked about people faking it. That's for I didn't know men just was faking it like that. I don't know how men can fake it like that, especially when
Yeah,
it's
like, and
visually seen and I
why
can
would
I
see.
think
you?
I
Why
think it's
would you
based off
fake
of
it?
I think it's based off of what Kelly said. We it's not faking it. It's just that we can probably come on demand if we really really put our minds to it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's not a so I don't know if it's a matter of she's exceptional as much as it is we've already committed to that's our cherry on top. That's what we're trying to accomplish in having sex anyway. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see to it that that's done, right? And so that's where I'm
Is
wondering.
it just a one off though? Because I like rounds.
I mean,
So
I think
that oftentimes I will
Hink,
say
I'm sorry. Look at
depends.
Hink's face. I'm sorry. Hink's face is.
Kelly, I think that depends on your
Sitting there like a proud father or something like that.
He is a freak. That's why.
That's that freaking me. I'm sorry,
Is that
ladies.
freak?
But I'm saying, like, if you're having sex, it's
yes,
like,
sir.
okay, he came. Good night. You came. I'm going to sleep.
no,
But
but
it's like, okay, give me
your
a second.
mind is in
Let
the
me re up.
your mind is in the right you're in the right headspace. I mean, that is the exact attitude that you need to have. The thing about it is it's not that way across the board. But you mentioned your dad gave you the game.
You
So
need to
you have
have
an
like a sex class, like
I
a
kind of want to
sex
put some.
course.
I want to put something out there. Like that connection with the man is really important too, and especially
Right. You can't
um,
do this with anyone. It's not everyone.
right.
e- especially if you guys have been in a long term relationship and doing marriage, because guys can be not interested if that connection is not there. It just doesn't just happen like that. If you've been used to getting that same thing all the time, sometimes it's going to take a connection. Sometimes if you have a connection with a man, you'll get that round two right away because he has that connection and he may go ahead and get his off and then less than 5 minutes he right back up again. They don't typically happen, but if you had a right connection or you got that good box or you doing tricks or whatever, then he may I want some more. I want some more. So women have to be mindful of the mind space of what that man is. Like the women that typically would say, "This is yours. You're free to do whatever you want to do," or "I'm here to please you." Those are the type of women that get round to quicker than a woman that's just sitting there pouting and, "Are you ready?" It's a difference, ladies. So make sure you guys on your game when it comes to satisfying that man if you like him.
I'm even say this too, Jr. I think as we get older, we got to be cognizant of the fact that it's not just a man's responsibility to be in good physical shape, and to have stamina. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you're with a woman who is actively participating, she might be burnt out after that first round if she's tired, if she's not good shape. Let's just keep it real. That could be a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying? If you really going in, you know what I'm saying? This is a physical activity. This is exercise.
Is that
Hey,
why guys
you
fake
know,
it then? Like they're tired? Like,
Oh, that could happen.
just,
Yeah. If you be in better
Back
shape.
lock up.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I can say and to add on that, you made a very good point, Rio, is that when you have been in the gym, it's a difference. Like you a beast. You able to manhandle. You able to throw them legs down how you want. You able to hold it back. You able to get up in that push up position for
Mhm.
hours.
Yeah.
You know, you can have her at your mercy
Yeah.
when you're in that gym. It is a difference. I do think some men tap out because they're not in shape. I've took some of my guys to the gym and they much bigger than me and they can't lift up to 45s.
Mhm.
They struggling. So I can only imagine the stamina. Not that I'm thinking, but now since we having the conversation, it's like you got to remain in shape even as you get older. Like these women gonna like to run around. If you
Yeah.
just tied in the dud or something like that, they're gonna get bored with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, them
If
arms.
you got a strong core, you cannot convince me that somebody who does no exercise at all is delivering the same thrust that you are with your abdomen. You know what I'm saying? And you know it because you exercise. You know what your
Yeah,
body is
man.
Courtney
doing.
face.
Let's get big out of that joint. Yeah.
Look at
Well, let me help you guys out, man.
he gets a freak.
Y'all dudes better be some mighty hunters
Hey,
out there.
hey,
I love it.
like if you can master making your
Better be
upper
some
body.
mighty hunters. I know some of y'all don't know
Hey,
what that means, but I'm gonna
He
help
has
you out.
Birdman
hey,
hands.
if you can
Yeah, that.
master
Hey,
if you
go
can
ahead, Jay.
master
I'm sorry.
keeping your if you can master keeping your upper body like still and all the motion is coming from like below, you in that shit.
But I mean, the same goes for ladies. You know, you trying to do
50
that
Shades of
first
Lapeef.
cowboy or the helicopter, you're going to have to start doing them squats. Women, we got to stay in shape, especially
Yeah.
at our age.
Especially if you're trying to jump on them now. You can't have a man dying. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
All right. Now, the man has got
I'm
to
also
And
say
if he
this real
dies,
quick.
Courtney, if he
That
dies, he
reverse.
dies. Like,
Hey, I'm also say this real quick.
It's a good way to go.
Sometimes if the man is in shape, he don't care if the girl doing the work because he don't mind doing all the work. Like if he in shape, he gonna put it where he want to put it. He gonna have it down where he want it. He do all
Yeah,
the
but
work.
it's a
I understand
participation.
that,
It's
but I'm just
like,
saying there's
okay,
but I'm
yeah,
saying
you doing this, I'm
he's
doing
not
this.
necessarily looking for it. It all depends on that man's stamina. You know, if a man ain't really got that stamina, he gonna want to lay there and want you to do all the work. But a man that's got in his mindset that I'm gonna put it down, just sit back and relax.
I know that's
I mean,
whack. I can't
the
imagine
performance
being
can be
like,
verbal too. You could be,
okay, right.
you could be participating just with what you're saying too, and you don't gotta, there's levels to performance.
listen,
Okay. Well,
ladies.
I have a
I'm
question
just
for
going
the
to say
men.
this,
I thought it
ladies.
was Sunday, y'all.
All right.
Do
Well,
your yoga,
You
do your
brought up the
Pilates, do
topic.
your
Jay,
squats,
You
and
brought
then
the
you have to
topic.
worry about your performance. Just do the
What
yoga,
you
Yes,
say?
Pilates, and
sir.
squats. You don't have to worry about the performance.
well, I have a question for the men. Since we're talking about women and performing and women that care about their performance. So her ability to perform, does that give you a side eye of the woman?
Hell
Her
no.
ability
What's
to
she doing?
perform.
How she know how? What's she?
Hell no. I love it.
No,
I love it.
I ain't heard. I've heard.
It used to.
Hey,
It used
oh
to.
my God.
Yeah,
It,
no,
it
it's
used
not
to.
okay.
Yeah.
Because a
Well,
woman, okay, because
No.
this is what I'm saying. Is a woman that cares about her performance or wants to please you and willing to do whatever. But then I do believe men will have a side eye and be like, now wait a minute now. When you start, why are
I
you
don't give a
putting this
shit.
in there?
I don't think so. If you're just his, like if you're out there doing that with everybody, maybe. But if it's like this is my special, he's doing it just for me. I don't think so.
no,
Like
because
they
I mean,
always say, I want a woman in ladies treating a freak in the bed. Like they want their lady to be.
I'm
but see,
I'm looking at the guys. I don't know about
right,
y'all.
Hey, look
right.
here.
See, this is the thing.
Ain't nobody on this panel dealing with no virgins, so we need to let that bullshit go. Let it go. All you know, It's 2022. All y'all experiencing here. Everybody on this panel got kids, but besides Jay, right? So we know the women out there doing it. So no, I mean, you perform, act a goddamn fool.
You just say she gonna get an Oscar, huh?
Man, I'm telling you,
It has to be. It has to be a show. It has to be
come
a
on.
show.
What you holding? Don't hold back on me. Don't act like you scared or you get nervous. Don't run. Where you running for?
Where you going?
Like you ain't never got your pussy ate. You better get that shit on. Come on here. Lock them on.
Hold on, Hank. It's Sunday. It's Sunday.
I mean,
look, fellas, let me give you 2 exercises y'all need to do to better perform. First of all, you better get your curls in so you can lock them legs up. She ain't going no goddamn way. She ain't going nowhere. Get your squats together because you're gonna put them things over your shoulders. You understand what I'm saying? Lock her in. She ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. When you lock her in, you go to camp.
Hold on. What's the second exercise?
Oh, you got a lot of flipper.
Oh.
Flip her ass over.
Flip that thing over like a rotisserie.
Shout out to all my ass eaters out there.
Whoa, Hank. Whoa.
I'm just saying.
Oh, it's
I'm
too
just
early.
saying, dog.
It's too early, man.
I mean, it is, but this is Heathen Sunday.
Go ahead, Rio.
I'm just in agreement. Hank is preaching the word. I mean, at the end of the day, that physical fitness is very important. And in result of that, you have to, when he's talking about the lock-in, the reason why that's important is because oftentimes there's going to become a point where she either tries to collapse or run, and you have to keep it steady and keep it stable. You're literally locking in for the both of you, right? Because at some point she may not be able to take anymore, and it's your responsibility to hold her up.
What do y'all be doing?
You know what I'm saying? It's your responsibility to hold her up and keep her strong. You know what I mean? And this is but this is what we're talking about, that compatibility. You know, you mentioned earlier, Kelly, you talked about you wake up in the morning and you're almost preparing for what's going to happen at night. I mean, you're complimenting her.
In the morning too.
That too. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's a connection that's happening. There's communication, verbal, physical, all types of communication that's happening.
Yeah, because it's up here too. Like sex
Right.
is here.
And so you don't go through all of that in order to have subpar sex later on or somebody being lazy. You know what I'm saying? This is something that, you know, essentially we are going to make the best of this thing. Otherwise, I'm going to get used to just getting mine.
Take her soul.
Right. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want him to get used to just getting his, you got to be a participant. You know what I'm saying? Because your lack of activity saying, all right, let me just go ahead and beat this thing down and, you know, get on out of here. You know what I mean? But if it's something to where it's just like, man, she in here showing out. I gotta bring the best me every time. Then that's when you got something.
Hey, man, we talking about
in.
I have a question.
Lock her in. She ain't going no goddamn way.
I wasn't ready for this today.
Hold on, go ahead, Jay. I feel like Jay has some. Go ahead, Jay.
But I have a question.
No, you like Kelly. You go, Kelly. You go, Kelly.
I didn't know you didn't go. I'm sorry. I'll wait. So my question is, will
me
a
find out
man
you're doing something over there, Jay?
Will a man like not in a relationship with a woman or leave her if the sex isn't good? Or he'll just, oh, as long as she shows up and she lets me get it, I'll stay.
I think when we were younger, we might have tolerated more, but when you get older and you know exactly what you want, you know you're not going to tolerate that. As younger guys, we would sit there and deal with bad sex and bad fellatio. Like we're sitting and deal with the pain because it was what it was. But when you get older, you have a low tolerance for that. If you're not sexually compatible with the person, you're not gonna hang around.
Well, see, I've never heard a man say that he leave over bad sex. I heard he'll get a side piece, a woman that will do what he wants done. But I've never heard a man say, "Nah, I left her because she couldn't give no good sloppy toppy." That's what y'all do. Is that what you do? Because I never heard of that, but I heard no. Beth over here.
Let me say this. I left the black women alone because I couldn't get no head from them, and then I came back once we started doing it. I'm just being honest. I had to go get me some titty pink when they wasn't. Our sister wasn't giving head.
See, that's when you say the word.
I came back home.
When you say the word leave, I take it that you're in a relationship.
Right.
We're not getting to the point of relationship if you're not performing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So will a guy would he make you his girlfriend or marry you if he doesn't have sex, or he has to try it first?
You gotta try
Like
it out.
in this
You gotta
day
try
and
it
age.
out.
I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna test drive this.
You gotta try that out.
I know people who have not done that and then got married and did it and just wanted the marriage to be over. Like the honeymoon was the first time that they may have been trying something new. They weren't virgins or anything. It was just like, let's do this right this time. And honeymoon.
What's the distinction though? Like if she sleeps with
terrible.
you before marriage, and like, wouldn't you say she's for the streets in your head? Like, where's the line?
Are you asking what do you ask?
Yeah, like if a woman sleeps with you before you're married, wouldn't you think she's out there? But you're saying you have to try it before you get married. So where's that line?
No,
we both grown.
If she's out there just being wild and loose, yeah, she's for the streets. But that's you could tell. Just because she's not a virgin, don't mean she's for the streets, though.
So, Hank, a woman comes and you meet her, you date her, you guys go on a couple of dates, and she sleeps with you. You're not in your mind be like, oh, she slept with me. She's sleeping with everybody.
No, it's not gonna be the first thing. Because in them times, I'm gonna have conversation. Her conversation gonna tell me if she's for the streets.
I don't know, yo.
The way she acts and carries herself gonna tell me she's for the streets before he even have sex with her.
Yeah, nah, they
hide. What are you talking about on the first
well.
date? If she gives it up on the first date, is that what you're asking, Kelly?
Yeah, because like that used to be a thing. Like, oh, if she gave it up to me, she's giving it up. Like, oh, if she's had sex with me, she's having sex. She's out there.
Not to me. If she gave it up on the first day, she was just in the mood. I put in the mood to want to give it up to me. She want to get locked in. But just on GP now.
I mean,
I don't think that because some people
in the grass, turn off the lights.
Yeah,
yes,
I don't automatically think that because some people just have that ability, like Hank was saying, some women will just, one dude might have to wait 6 months and one dude may get it literally that night. You know what I mean? It just depends on the chemistry or whatever. So if you get in your head about it on if she's for the streets or not, like, that's your issue. That's an inside issue. You need to figure out, why you're insecure, why you even thinking like that.
I will also say if I'm gonna just be honest, men, we do a little bit of homework too. I mean, it's maybe not to the extent of a woman, but I mean, there's such good access to information, and typically somebody knows somebody kind of thing. So we'll find out whether or not she just for everybody. In most cases, but we ain't gonna hold it against her just because she's doing a good job. Nah. I mean, and we're not gonna not test drive. I'm sorry. I mean, we grown at this point. You as the older you get, the more commitments are very serious to you. So you're not gonna go ahead and in your 30s and your 40s get married to somebody and you ain't did a test drive. That ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Because you're spending more time of your life at that point not knowing, and then like Jay said, ready to get out of that thing as soon as you find out that it's not what you thought it was going to be. So we don't, grown people don't got a whole lot of time to waste. We want to know.
That's what my brother said. He said, would you let somebody be your chauffeur for the rest of your life if they've never driven a car?
Yeah.
And I was like, interesting.
JR, you disagree. What did you disagree with, JR?
I didn't forget. Y'all was talking about some people for the streets.
Yeah, I think he was saying
giving it up on the first date or the first outing. Hank said he makes the woman get in the mood, so she has no choice.
Now, as I was listening, I think you guys made some point. It depends on the guy because some guys used to getting it every day. It doesn't necessarily mean that that woman gives it up. You don't really determine if she's for the streets until a little bit in. That's why you shouldn't go all in the beginning. You know, if you guys get the opportunity to do have that moment together, then you experience that moment. But I think further along the lines, you guys engage with one another. You later discover if she has some hoish ways or not. So, all right, if you guys just tuned in, welcome to Lapeef-ING Sundays. Make sure you guys get them likes up. I heard the likes are down. Make sure you also subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here. No worries. We are building up to the main event, which is Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey. So definitely going to break that down. Then we got one more topic before we get to that. And as you notice, these topics are going to build up to it, which is next one. I'm pretty curious about you guys' perspectives. Are there levels to being a 304? An example is like an alpha-minded woman. We won't say she's an alpha woman, but an alpha-minded woman, meaning that she wants to be man, she wants to do manly things, she wants to hunt.
Choppy.
Versus, it's choppy again? God damn. We'll hold off on this real quick. Let's see if it's self-correct. I do got the stream, I think, ready. Just keep me in the loop. What's going on?
Is it doing more? Is it doing the more? We're all not on mute.
No, it's just it's weird, man. I don't think it can handle the capacity. Everybody want a podcast now, so I think the service just can't handle everything that's going on right now. Chat, how we doing? Is it still chop, Courtney? I know you're on mute, but just it is.
What is a 304 again? What can y'all?
Hold on, Cal. We got let's talk about something else besides the topic because I don't want to ruin you.
Got you.
So we can talk about the plans, what y'all plans are for Sunday.
Shit, I got the old school out, ready to go cruise, and that's what I'm going to do. I need to go gas some up, though.
Courtney, just let me know if it corrects itself.
Well, I'm going to SeaWorld.
Okay.
People in the chat, let us know if it corrects itself.
SeaWorld.
You going to SeaWorld today?
Yeah, I'm in Orlando. My whole family's already there, but I was like, I gotta do the show. So as soon as it's over, I'm gonna start right over there. I gotta see the dolphins. Ride some roller coasters. Do you guys do roller coasters or theme parks? Start right over there.
I did them when I was younger. I haven't in a long time. It's probably been like 20 years maybe since I've done a roller coaster.
Is it fine?
I know some people are scared of them.
I get what a 304 is now. My bad, y'all. Y'all
They said the sound is good now.
Did you Google it?
I Googled
We
it.
held off.
I've
Hey, chat, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Are we good, chat? We good? Okay, they say we good. So let's just keep it rolling. All right, let's get back to the topic. Are there levels to being a 304? Alpha-minded woman versus she just out here. She just out here.
When you say alpha-minded woman, you mean like, I want him, I'm gonna take control and just go get him because I want him?
Yeah, that and just women that just date multiple men, but they're more so in control. So can they still be considered 304s if they're the ones that's in control?
So when you say date, you're talking about like they're actively having sex with multiple men?
Just not married, so whatever that entails.
Refrigerator full of takeout boxes.
Excuse me.
My refrigerator is full of takeout boxes.
All right, y'all, let's answer that question. Are there levels to being a 304? What are you guys' thoughts?
I think there's levels if the person, because you have some people that are ashamed of it. They're not understanding that that's who they are. And then you have other people that's just how I move. I'm not married. I'm dealing with who I want to deal with when I want to deal with. I don't answer to nobody. I think that's the level. The level is somebody who's fighting it versus somebody who is comfortable in their skin where I'm a man. It's almost like a female being a man about it. I just got multiple people that I use for different reasons. So
Yeah, I think the two word may be throwing it off, but just meaning basically, if you are considered a hoe, are there different type of hoes? You know, are you just if you're a 304, if you're a 304, you're just a 304. And I'm building up to this like Lori Harvey because she seems to be a lot more in control of what she brings in, right? So would you consider that alpha minded woman, so to speak? Would you consider her still to be a 304, a woman that is in control of what she's bringing in, or is she just out here?
A hoe is a hoe. Okay. The only difference between a hoe is if you're getting paid or not. Okay. But as a hoe is a hoe. You getting paid or not. But she's a hoe.
I mean,
I don't know. I think going out with a man doesn't make you a hoe. But if you're sleeping with them, that's where I draw the line. Like, you can go out with multiple guys. Like, oh, you want to go to the movies? We can go to the movies. You want to go to dinner? We can go to dinner. But if you're going to the movies and going to bed with them, I think that's where like the hoe comes in. Am I wrong or?
Oh yeah. I mean,
if a man sees you going out with a lot of other dudes, we're gonna assume you're a hoe anyway, regardless you sleep with them or not.
Well, let me ask this question: if they're in relationships with multiple people, because that's what I find too, like a lot of them will hide in relationships. Like, I'm in this relationship for 8 months, I hop to a new relationship 8 months where they're sleeping with all these people, but technically it's a relationship, so it may not be frowned upon.
That's a good point.
Do you look at it differently that way?
She's still a hoe.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah. I feel like it is levels, but I think none of it is like leans toward any kind of positive result. I think that, like, for example, when it comes to Lori Harvey, it does seem like there's this impression that she's in control, right? But there's also the implication that she is sleeping with all these men. So in the end, the next man she gets with is going to assume that she slept with all these guys. So regardless of what these men's professions are, whether they're super high end, high value men, or just around the way dudes, 10, 20 dudes in your Rolodex is still 10, 20 dudes. So I feel like it'll hit the same. It just really depends on what that person's values are. And, it's tough to say, well, because she like people accuse Sierra of being a hoe just because she got with, I think, 50 Cent and Bow Wow, and then that was, I think, about it, unless I'm missing a guy, versus a woman like Kim Kardashian, who she done been with all kinds of men throughout her lifetime. And so do we consider both of those women, 304s as they're called, or is there a level? So I think it's levels to it. But in the end, the next man's always going to consider all the men that you might have gotten with. And over a certain number, it really won't matter who they are. I mean, if it's over 10, then you might just be considered, a 304, regardless of the levels of the man you're with.
Then I guess I would say yes, there are levels. Because, like, is J-Lo considered a hoe? Because she's been engaged like 17,000 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx called her J-Ho.
J-Ho. Yeah, J-Ho.
So I would say there are levels because, I mean, she's...
Or like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has been with a lot of different men. I don't know if she wears like a 304 label, but she's been with plenty of high profile men. I mean, she probably been with more high profile men than Lori Harvey. So, but I feel like they hit differently for the reason I'm not exactly sure. Maybe because it's the quality of man that they're with. You figure the only way this man's going to be with this kind of woman is if he's smashing. So you may not have that same assumption for some boy band member versus Future. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on the entire picture and not just who the man is, I guess.
So a woman can be considered. So I'm gonna let you go, Amber. Give me 1 second. So a woman can be considered a hoe if she's dating. If she's dating only, is she considered a hoe?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, but if she giving up the box, then that would make her a hoe at that point.
I think so.
That's what I think.
Body, she's a hoe.
Let's just be 100 because we're talking about these people that are in on a public platform. So it's the perception. It is perceived if you're dating someone, you're having sex. it is perceived if they see you with multiple men within a 6-month period that you're banging them all. So it's the perception. And especially if you're doing it with the type of men, the same entertainment men, all football players. So now it's the perception is that not only are you with multiple men probably having sex, but you're having sex with all these football players. You're having sex with all these movie stars. So that compounds on the idea of the perceived notion of being a hoe. Okay. So if Lori Harvey, she's perceived to be a hoe because she does all three. What she needs to do is scale it back. Don't be putting your public relationships in there because obviously they're not working. Obviously, you don't want to be serious, and I guess we're going to talk about that. But it's the perception of it all.
Okay, we're gonna tap into to Lori. I know I kind of threw it in there a little bit, but just outside of that, let's just say ordinary people. If we know, because the circles are small, right? If you know of someone or somebody may know of you, and you may be out there dating different people, you're not considered a 304 per se unless you're sleeping with them, like typically, right? Which is regular folk.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, the definition of being a hoe is being.
So if a guy calls me on Monday and says, "Hey, you want to go to the movies?" and I go to the movies, and another guy calls me on Wednesday, "Hey, you want to go to dinner?" I go to dinner. I'm a hoe if I don't sleep with them.
No, but it's the perception. So if you're putting a IG picture of you and Tim, and then tomorrow you and Bobby, and then the next day you and Frankie, it's the perceived notion that she's with multiple men. I am looking at you, and we're perceiving you as a hoe, not that you necessarily have to sleep with them. So again, that's why we always talk. Your image matters. How you present yourself matters, because that how we look at you is how we're going to perceive you. Does that suck? Yes. Does that happen? Yes. So if you don't want to be perceived as a hoe, don't put stuff out being hoish.
And so that's where I feel like.
Then we go to Amber after Rio. Go ahead.
That's where I feel like we have multiple types of hoes, because some don't care about that perception, especially in today's culture. I almost think of them as like the alpha minded 304s, because they really aren't offended by saying you a hoe or you being a hoe. They're going to be promiscuous because they want to be. And if you think of it like from a single man's perspective, if a single man, if he says, okay, I'm a just bounce around and do what I feel, I don't really care what anybody else got to say about it. If you call him a hoe, that kind of hoe, he doesn't really care. Right now, a hoe, saying hoe to a man, it can mean various things, but in that, um, from that perspective, he doesn't really care. I'm going to smash women because that's what I want to do. There are women out here who are like that. Listen, they're thinking, look, I'm going to have whatever man that I feel like I want to have. And they will not deny it, not buck against your perception, don't really care about you calling them a hoe. They don't care. You have others who would loosely date. You brought up J-Lo. Ain't no way in the world J-Lo is going to allow you to call her a hoe. You know what I mean? There's no way that J-Lo is going to align herself with that word or feel comfortable with you saying it. Does she loosely date? Absolutely. She probably tried to defend herself from that standpoint. Yeah, she been multiple people in the industry. Absolutely. I mean those are facts. However, she is not going to say proudly, "Okay, I'm hoeing, so what?" There are women who don't care. That's what we're dealing with. That's what I think about when I see an alpha-minded hoe.
I don't care.
They don't care. The word doesn't offend them. It's in the music, it's in the culture. This is where we are. Like, this is where we are today.
Isn't alpha-minded suggesting that they're out to get something other than just sex? Oh, go ahead, Amber. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I actually had a question for the fellas. Like, I guess everybody's in agreement. There's levels to wholeness. Do you all treat a woman based on the level of wholeness that you see? And what does that look like?
Yeah. You don't take her, you don't take her, you don't take offense to what she's doing and the type of hoe I was just discussing. She knows this is what she do. You know this is what she do. If you choose to partake in that, then 9 times out of 10 is because you just wanted to have sex and that was mutual. She wanted to too. You know what I mean? There's no feelings. There's nothing to say about it, right? A hoe that is pretending not to be a hoe, and you get involved and you find out that she's a hoe later, now that's gonna piss you off, right? You're offended. You're like, okay, I wish I'd known this from the jump. This is not somebody that I wanted to take serious. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna try to pull away from that situation. Some might try to transform her, some might try to save her. That's another conversation. But what I'm saying is your level of interest and the reasons why you're interested will depend upon what type of hoe she is. If she is an outside, upfront hoe, or she's a hoe that's pretending not to be a hoe.
See,
And
I'm
that's
confused
tough.
on what are the levels of hold'em? Because I
No,
mean,
hey,
you
That's what
can't
I'm kind of
have
confused with.
I mean, you're
There's
either
levels.
a hoe or a hoe. You're either a deceptive hoe. You're either a hoe that is honest about it and say, "Yeah, I'm out here in these streets." You're either a hoe that gets paid. You're not a hoe. You're a hoe that's fine. You're a hoe that's broke. I
Sounds
mean,
like you're
but a
defining
hoe
the
is
levels,
hoe.
Courtney.
hey, look
So
here.
nobody.
A
My
truthful
my
hoe,
level.
an honest hoe, a lying hoe,
But it's still a
a
hoe.
Decepticon hoe.
But
Levels.
there are
I
levels.
take a different angle than what my man King Rio is. I'm gonna treat a hoe like a hoe.
That's what I'm
I mean,
thinking.
y'all ain't no. To me, there's no different level of hoes. You just a hoe, and I'm gonna treat you as such. I'm gonna fucking get up. That's all I need you for.
That's
That's all I
assuming
need
you
you for.
know.
I'm gonna bust a nut and I'm gone, and I'm gonna send you with a lifesaver and send your ass on up out the door because you
Yeah,
ain't
but
staying.
you're acting like there's like not simps in the world. There are men that will take a woman,
Yeah, they are.
buy her
And-
things,
But that's
Right.
like,
but Kelly, that's
and
not
not
me.
even be sleeping with her. They'll just be, oh, I just thought of you. I bought you this present. I wanted to bring you to dinner.
Oh, no,
And they're not
I'm not
getting
spending no
anything.
money.
There,
I'm not
there's
spending no
sugar.
money
There's sugar.
on you like that if I ain't banging you.
There's sugar daddies all over the world sponsoring hoes. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm not doing that shit.
but that's the thing. I mean, it's transactional.
All
It's
right,
it's
them
tra-
backstabbers.
That was him.
it's transactional at the end of the day. You know what I mean? If you're gonna entertain a hoe because you want something from her, you want something. There is a mutual exchange. You're not just entertaining a hoe just because. 9 times out of 10, it's in exchange for sex, whatever it is. Sometimes she just wants sex, you want sex. Sometimes she wants money and you want sex. Whatever it is, there's an exchange taking place. But what I'm saying is, we don't always know a hoe up front. Some hoes are just very good at hiding their hoedom,
They're honest.
their wholeness, or yes, their wholeness. And so, with that
I
being
heard
said,
at the beginning of the year, like your wholeness is deletable.
no,
Lies.
No,
no,
like you can't
there's
make a
not an
New Year's resolution.
no. That's the thing, and that's another topic we got to talk about. Is there an expiration date on your wholeness, and can you be born again? I
That's
don't
what I
know.
heard.
Oh,
That's
That's
what I
a whole
heard.
nother time. Drea Michelle said yes. I remember that
That's what I
conversation
heard.
a while ago on the Breakfast
Your
Club.
wholeness can be deleted.
Your holders can be deleted. I mean, an expiration date.
I think we'll talk about that.
Next
Yeah,
I
so
think, I think those kinds of people are never really taken seriously. I mean, of course, there's exceptions when it comes to like financial, but overall, like just in passing, it doesn't even necessarily need to be a one-on-one situation where, like, you know, if she comes among your group of friends, let's say, nobody in that group is going to take her seriously because we all know what she's about. We all know how she lives. So if, Right. So, you know, when it talks about levels to it, we all know hoes that got with all of our friends versus some who just got with people who we know. So so even that layer exists where, you know, like she's a rumored to be this kind of woman versus I know dudes who she got with. So even then, you know, you might show respect to one type of person versus another. Like if you don't really have facts, if all you just know is the rumors about her, like her reputation, you might not address her the same way you would as if she got with you, your homeboy, two other homeboys. You know what I mean? It's just different. So even in that particular layer, there's going to be a difference on how you address them. But overall, I don't think any of them are going to get your real respect. I don't think any of them are going to take you seriously beyond what they can get out of you. And if you identify as a 304, then most of what they're going to try to get out of you is sex. And then after that, you know, they have no use for you anyway. So you're never really going to get the kind of respect that you would want as just a human being in general.
What can I
But
say
I don't think
to piggyback
sorry.
off what Courtney was saying regarding perception, which is also a double standard, because I'm assuming most women want to be in a relationship. However, we have to accept the fact there is a double standard. I have, in my photography business, I have a very strong no fraternization rule. I work with a lot of high power people, ball players, and I never cross that line because I'm in rooms. A lot of men brag on their dicks. A lot of men do
What?
yeah. I mean, I've heard men like, yo, she's a bad executive or she's a bad politician, but yo, I hit. And so, God forbid if she took that man seriously and it didn't work out, and then she dated somebody else in the same proximity, her reputation is already tarnished. If she just slept with two men that they may not know each other, but if they're in the same field or position, she's already going to be labeled as possibly a hoe, and her job or her reputation professionally can be compromised. And I've seen this so many times. That's why I have a very strict no fraternization rule. I don't date any guy I have done or am doing work with for that simple matter. It's a double standard. Is it right? Possibly not, but it is what it is. And so it's actually behoove of women, unfortunately, to not date shit where you eat. It is what it is. That's just what I've seen. And it goes back to what Courtney says, is perception.
Do you think, Amber, it matters the level that, like, let's say you're the best photographer in the nation? Would it then matter? Would you keep that same rule for yourself, or would there be a way to separate, like, okay, what I do over here isn't impacting the fact that I'm the best photographer in the nation?
As of now, yes, I keep that strong rule, and has been successful for me. I've been able to foster, opportunities, great platonic friendships with these men. From my understanding thus far, my reputation is intact. Nobody can say, yo, Amber's a dope photographer, but I smash. Like, nobody can say that. And that's what men will say, have said. Men talk to women, and there are men that do lie on their dicks.
Hey, Amber, that's for you.
What is wrong with this man?
He don't like Lori Lightfoot.
You don't like men.
I don't think a woman should be defined a hoe just because she dates. Like, I think women should date multiple people at the same time.
But I think, Kelly, it was to what Courtney said about the perception. Like, we don't even need to, it doesn't need to be factual. It could just be the fact that it just seems like it. Or like, well, if 304s are out with dudes all the time, and then you are taking pictures out to dinner, movies, and then miniature golfing, and with Chris, Craig, Brad, and David all in 1 week, you don't have to have slept with them men for the perception to be that. Especially for the next dude who comes along, it's human nature to kind of feel insecure. Like, man, I don't measure up to Brad and all these other dudes. Like, maybe I don't measure up. So already they're coming in.
Competition.
Right. I mean, well, you might think that because you're not really sleeping with these men. But from a man's point of view, it's like, man, the only way all these dudes are kicking it with this same chick is if she must be going. So, let me just make that same assumption.
Yeah, and I don't. Go ahead. Jay, are you saying something?
I was just going to say, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but like, why are women so eager to post their dating status? Like, they'll be dating somebody, and then what you will see is you'll probably see like a little arm or a hand or something like that, a little leg, because they're in the passenger seat, that they're in the car with a man, and then you may see him from behind. It's like they build up to like, ta-da, like.
Or he got a smiley face over his head.
I just wanted to go ahead, Courtney.
Well, I think women do that because being relationship goals. I mean, it looks good on IG. It looks good to be wanted. It looks good to be with someone. There's not a woman on here on IG that just thinks it looks good to be a lonely woman. So to know that I have a partner,
look, there's someone here, even though you see his thumb.
Yeah, it could be your arm.
Yes, so that video.
That's the perception of I'm in a relationship. The relationship goes, and it's the whole package. The filters is because I want to look better, and now I look good. So of course a man wants me, and here's the man that wants me. So it looks good. I've said this before. I think women prefer having an IG relationship than a real relationship.
And women do it for other women. to show that they've been chosen or selected, that they had a man. Mostly women do for other women.
I'm not
Yeah,
posting
think
no guy.
that don't make sense to me though, man. It doesn't make sense to me why they do that. Why? Why are you showing out like that? I mean, if we're in a relationship, you don't have to be doing all of that. Not to me. But I'm the same guy that don't like to be posting every goddamn thing.
Because
Hank, usually you don't
really,
find out until later. You know, like you've just been snapped about 4 or 5 times, and and that's you go look through the stories to come to find out, like, oh, was that intentional?
because if someone really cares about you and you're doing life together, like, oh look, we jumped out of an airplane together, you're not going to be in the picture. Like if you're doing stuff actively together, you just want her to post herself, or do you want to, oh, I did this with my man?
No, I wasn't talking about
like
that.
I said, I'm
just
the type that don't even want to be posted on that. I'm not with this, man.
Well, you can't get with me, Hank, because you're going to be posted.
I think Rio was trying to go ahead, Rio. Apologies.
No problem. No, I just had a thought about that too, Kelly. You were saying that sometimes women will date around, go on several dates with several different men, and they should be able to. That's fine. One of the things I think that we got to be cognizant of as men is if she's doing that regularly, then you want to make sure that you're not one of the men who are being used to facilitate some type of lifestyle that she aspires to have. If she's using Frank for when she wants to go up to the restaurant every Wednesday, DeAndre to take her on trips, going to the basketball game with Tom, you know what I mean? You may find yourself being one of these sponsors.
One of the roster.
Or
Right.
and or on the roster, right? And so sometimes what'll happen is if she's one that's going to post all that, that helps you a little bit. If you following her on Instagram, you really get to see what this lifestyle is or this image that she wants to project is, and you may be able to find out how you fit into that equation. So don't, sometimes if she's not having sex, maybe she's just into using, you know what I mean? Or maybe she's just friendly and likes to have a bunch of male friends that are willing to sponsor her behaviors. You gotta diagnose what you're dealing with. And it's not always one word.
No, you're right. I've had a guy ask me that before. He's like, you go on all these trips, who's paying for these trips? Who pays for your trips? Don't you pay for your own trips? You don't think I can pay for my own trips? Well, I was just saying, I was wondering. You should wonder about yourself.
I think, and because I don't think it's healthy for a woman to just date multiple men at the same time, especially when you get a certain age. It's like, how are you going to get to know him? And me personally, if I'm dating a man, I don't want him dating multiple women. Like, I want him to take the time out to get to know me.
See, I've had this conversation with a lot of my male friends. They don't agree with my theory. I just feel like with women, they get this thing in their head. Like, they'll go out on a date with a guy. They'll be like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Oh my God, I can see us with the house and the kids and the dog and the white picket fence. And he's just like, wow, that was a really cool first date. Like, I feel like they're still dating. Like, why are you sitting here hoping, waiting? I think you should still live your life, until he makes it known. And once he makes it clear that I want to be with you, like now there's a reason to not talk to anybody else because it's you two. But to just be like, oh, we went on a date, I'm just gonna wait for him to call me next week or whenever, I think that's silly.
Well, Kelly, it may not be the act of going out on a date. It's kind of the sharing of it too. You know what I mean? You could go out on dates and keep all of that to yourself. But if you want, because part of being the 304 is the public perception of you. It's not so much what you're doing, it's how people see you. So a lot of times the only way someone would see you out on all these trips is if you posting it on your Instagram, as used in the example. So then you're giving the public the opportunity to make assumptions. Whereas you can still go on these trips, not post any of them, and have the same kind of experiences. So, but go ahead, Courtney.
Would you go to Puerto Rico and not post it? Would you go to Dubai and not post it?
You asking me? If I was single, if I took one woman to Puerto Rico, then took another woman to Dubai, then took another woman to Toronto, then took another woman to Cancun, and then I meet the fifth woman. And she's going through my IG. She's like, oh man, you with all these women, you must be out here doing X, Y, and Z. I couldn't be mad at her for making that assumption about me because I'm giving the public the opportunity to make that assumption because I'm putting my life out there on social media to be consumed. I could go to all these places, and be just, you know what I mean, moving around how I move regardless of the end of that.
And what
Yeah,
if you don't post a woman at all, but people just assume you're with a woman because you're a handsome man?
And you can assume all you want, but you'll never know how I move.
Right.
You'll never know how I move.
Oh.
Man, I'm gonna kill. I'm gonna
I'm gonna get Courtney and
explain that ass.
I want to finish this
I'm
off.
a reformed man whore, so I don't do it like that no more. But still, I wouldn't. You would never know how I move. So you won't see no film or no documentation of me out in all these others. No, you're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna show you.
Shout out to Hank, man, the ninja. Go ahead, Courtney, and then we'll finish off with Jay.
Okay. Well, I'll just piggyback on what I said. I don't really think that dating multiple men at the same time is healthy. I don't think women can we can't put that together. We do once we like someone, we do like them, and I guess we do maybe get giddy at times, but that's just how we are. Getting giddy off multiple men or putting men in these type of spaces where, you know, I'm single so I can do this and that. I mean, I don't think it's healthy. I think if you're wanting a husband or wanting a relationship, you need to focus on one at a time.
And you sit around and wait for this guy to waste your time.
Well, that might be something, an issue with you and your vetting. So, like you said before on the show, you said yourself that within 30 days, you know if a man is going to be serious or not. But these are conversations. These are before you even go on a date or go on multiple dates. You have these conversations. Look, now I'm old. Okay, what you want, baby? This is what I got to offer you, sugar. And if you're on the same wavelength as far as what you want, then you guys date and see if it works. And then if it doesn't,
but men are intentional. So like if a man wants you, I remember my father said, there's nothing that's going to stop a man from going after what he wants. If a man truly wants you, he will make it known. He'll make it clear. He's not going to keep you guessing and wondering. If a guy is playing games, then I'm not going to let him waste my time. I'm not going to be like, I hope he calls. I hope he asks me on a second date. No, we had a good day and I'm going to keep it moving until he lets me know this is what I want. You are what I want.
But, you know, men aren't mind readers. So we still have a responsibility to let them know, I like you. Yes. Like, what is this going? Where is this going? So it takes two on that part. But I just don't.
I agree. I think women should let a man know she's interested. Definitely. She shouldn't chase him.
A man should date multiple women anyway, but a woman should lock in on one. Just in my opinion. A woman should lock in on one man. A man should date multiple women to see what he wants.
Okay, so she locks in on one and he's dating multiple and he doesn't pick her. She's just like, okay.
But the reason why, because of what? Well, the reason why, because he's investing more than she is. He's investing way more than she is. If I'm going to take a woman serious, then I'm investing everything. I'm giving my all. You know what I'm saying? So I need to know exactly what I'm dealing with. If I'm gonna give you my last name, you're being blessed. If I'm giving you my finances, you're being blessed.
Hank, let me ask you a question.
To me, I don't expect a woman to bring her finance to me.
You need a blessing. You need a blessing. You need
so
a blessing.
Are you looking to smash all these women too? Just devil's advocate.
No. First of all, if I'm gonna take a woman out on the first date, I'm not taking her out to dinner because I'm not gonna invest that much money on the first date. I might take her ass to a coffee shop, and we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna just sit there and talk over a cup of coffee. And I don't even drink coffee.
I don't care.
There you go. All right, go ahead and finish us off on this, Jay, as we move into the Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan.
I mean, you know, I think just like men, women can date multiple men. It's just a way to do it. You know what I mean? It's just a way to go about it. And I mean, as far as a woman being a 304, I mean, outside of you being in a circle of people that you know that she's dealt with, and it may be a little excessive, I mean, you can never really know. You know what I mean? This woman could have been a hoe in another state or in another country, and you with her, you'll never know that. So, you know, then what do? You know, so
you just have a conversation.
Yeah, but then, you know, you only know what you know or what she allows you to know. So you kind of got to just go of instinct.
So you're saying if you had a woman and you met her and you fell in love with her and you found out in another state she had 100 bodies, that's it for you?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Kelly.
That's excessive. Yeah, that's excessive, yo.
Leave her ass at the restaurant.
All right, Hank. Mr. Elephant said that you are his hero, man. So salute to you, brother. I think you're doing more than you are aware of, young man. So, salute to you and your service for that you are displaying for this fine audience. Anyhow, let's get these likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Anybody want to read these super chats? Anybody?
I got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay, Jay. No, go ahead, Jay.
Sure.
You got the radio voice.
Tia, $5. Amber putting us on game. Pilates, yoga, squats. I have to Google that helicopter position.
I already know what they're talking about.
And Kegels. Do your Kegels.
Derek Spinner.
Kegels.
Hank a savage like me.
Right on.
Double Will 88. Planks, push-ups, and jump rope. It works wonders. Try that. Jay White, spread them cheeks and keep her chin on the pillow. Willie Handy, 79. If she can snatch your soul like Tiana, take her to Benihana. Book of Future, chapter 1, verse 5. Shout out to Hing, aka B Nick's brother.
I don't care.
Michael Stitcher, $5 super chat. DJ Torch, $2. If a woman gives you bad, she don't like you.
She might not know what she's doing.
Jeffrey Terrell became a member.
Shout out, Jeff.
Happy Intrinsic, $10 super chat. Although Christians choose to ignore the word, technically one can be considered a hoe if you have sex before marriage. There's levels. Survive and Inspire.
Everybody on the panel.
I don't know about that one. That ain't in no Bible verse.
What if she was only with one man instead of multiple men, but she didn't hold back in the bedroom? Is she a hoe if she did everything with the one man?
Nah.
No.
Well versed.
She's a good woman.
She's well versed.
In the arts. Kenny a day. $4.99. Shout out to Hank.
All right, there you go, y'all.
Hank
you getting a lot of
followers, huh, Hank? Man, the Church of Hank is in full effect today.
Because the chat is full of freaks.
Down to the dungeon, baby. Let's party.
That's why the chat is full of freaks.
I know, right? You're like, Pink, I see you.
All right, can we get the chat to say amen? You say amen.
Right on, big brother.
All right, y'all, let's get these likes up. Also, subscribe to the channel. If you guys don't know, we are live August the 5th and 6th, and ATL, the LAPEEF Experience, takes over. ATL, get your tickets now. It's a 2-day event. It's going to be live. It's going to be funky. It's going to be all above. So make sure you guys come out, bring your friends and your family. Stay in ATL, get your ticket before they sell out. We do have a capacity limit, even though it's higher than the one that was in Houston. We do have a limit, so make sure you get your spot in early, get your plane tickets early. Come on now, take a train if you got to. You know, some people like to go sightseeing. Take you one of those, was it 15 hours or something like that, depending on where you're coming from. Train rides, take you some pictures and enjoy. All right, let's get into the main. Go ahead, Miss Courtney Michelle.
We don't really have trains like that in the South.
Oh, y'all don't?
No, not really.
Okay,
no.
there's only freight trains.
You can get on a bus. Okay, if you want to see.
I thought Amtrak go everywhere.
Get on that Greyhound.
We don't have
they got Amtrak. Hey, we got Amtrak down here.
Well, we don't here in Tennessee.
No, we don't hear Kentucky.
Amtrak going to Tennessee. Somebody in the chat let us know if Amtrak go to Tennessee. I thought Amtrak go everywhere.
Yeah, you want to make a money bet?
I'm not making no bets, man. I'm not making no bets. I know how you are with that money.
We can make a $5 bet.
You like that money talk. You know, not on this Sunday.
Bullshit walk, baby.
All right, y'all. Let's move into the main topic. Let's talk about Lori Harvey continues to hunt Michael B. Jordan. Should have known better. Let me give a little bit of MBJ. Michael B. Jordan is 35, and LH Lori Harvey is 25. Dated more than a year ago. Has been I typed this wrong. They dated more than a year. It has been reported that they split. Possible reasons that Michael B. Jordan wanted to get more serious. Indications is Lori Harvey took down all the pics of them on her IG. A close source said that they have separated and not together. It has been said that since 2017, Lori Harvey has dated 8 people. Some include Diddy, Justin Combs, Trey Songz, Future, and a few more. So let's dive into this situation. One of the questions I wanted to start off with as well to throw in the mix is, should older men be concerned about younger women? I know Sage Talk with Lee was on She Critique, and he said that he was dating a 25-year-old. He's 64. 23. And he's 64. This is not quite the situation here, but should older men be concerned about these young women?
I think you got to be concerned about where that younger woman is in her life. You know what I mean? Because she
Somebody
could
said
be
choppy. Hold on real quick.
all right.
Yeah,
Let's check. It always happens soon as we start a topic.
Still choppy.
Is it just your mic and stuff, JR? Or is it everybody when we all get to talking?
Yeah, it's everybody. It's the whole stream.
Man.
Y'all continue to talk.
Yeah, we just go ahead and keep talking. Chat, just bear with us. I don't know if you can hear me or not. We're going to try to see if it's self-correct. If not, then we'll switch over to a different stream. Our apologies. I know it's a StreamYard thing. It's not any internet issues. It's just StreamYard has been acting up. So just kind of keep us less mainly.
Somebody said it's just me.
I said it's me.
Is it? Oh, nah. Somebody said it's just me.
To me, I just think it's just because we've been through this before. It's the whole stream. Everybody's saying 0. I'll be quiet, and then you guys can.
No, it's sounding better on my end. Hold on.
It's sounding better. All right, let's just see what it does. Because we're on the last topic, so I just like to kind of keep this going if we can.
It sounds better.
It sounds better now.
Yeah.
Hey, Courtney, I'm gonna be up in Nashville Friday, man. Y'all, my son's got opportunity to go to a camp up there.
Hey, freaking sneaky hig. I see you.
Oh no, it's not one of those type of events. Nah, my son.
All right, put a 1 in the chat if we good. Put a 1 in the chat if we good. I think we should be good.
Let the kid hig. I got a beer for you. An
Okay.
IPA.
Everybody's saying we good. Okay, so let's talk about the Lori Harvey continues to hunt, and Michael B. Jordan should have known better. And I asked, I think somebody was responding to, should older men be concerned with dating younger women?
Yeah, I was saying it depends where that younger woman is in their life. You know, you got to ask a few questions to kind of figure out if a lot of that stuff they've gotten out of their system, you know, because they'll say there are some mature younger women, you know, in their situation, they're 10 years apart, 35 and 25. Like, I think that's excessive. I think she still has a lot of playing to do, a lot of playing that she wants to do, which is probably why she wasn't ready to, you know, he's 35, he's ready to have some kids, you know. I think she's looking around and she's seeing some stuff she want to try out before she lock it down.
Yeah, a chick like that, she's an industry chick, man, and that's all it is to it. And he seems like, what I'm reading, the story I'm reading, like he's not a type of person to really put himself out there with as far as his feelings and his emotion. And he tried to with this woman. Unfortunately, he tried with the wrong woman. So now he's gonna have a bitter taste in his mouth about women, period, probably more than likely, because he got burnt by this hoe. You know, so I don't know why a lot of these celebrities don't start just getting maybe an average chick that's just not in the industry. Leave them industry chicks alone, man. I mean, because it's obvious they for the street. She got a young mind. She's young minded, even though she's really not that young at 25. But she's young minded, and she's been around a whole lot, like we call a hoe. You know, and that's what she is. And you deal with chicks like that, man. You gotta expect her to act as such and to carry on as such. So, man, he probably should have just used her ass just for a piece of ass and moved on, because she ain't worth shit. And now his heart's in it. Now
I think we choppy again.
Damn.
Yeah, it's very choppy. Mic check, mic check. We just checking the sound. Mic check, mic check.
You sound
mic
clear.
Check. Mic check, mic check. We
nah,
just
you're
checking
gonna echo.
the sound. Mic check, mic check.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's Kelly trying to come in. If that's messing it up. I'm not sure if that's messing it up or
not.
not.
It's going in and out because it gets clear again. So
okay.
I think you're okay.
We're all right.
That is sound. Mic check.
All right. You might be good, Hank. Go ahead. Finish your thought, Hank.
Now we're gonna start doing the shows in person, man. We're gonna have to just we're gonna have to start doing it in the metaverse, one or the other. This shit is crazy right now.
Nah, what I was saying, some of these celebrities just need to start just getting an average chick, man. Just finding a good woman that's not in the industry, so you don't have to worry about them being caught up in a line, like want to deal with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because Lori Harvey, she's been around. She has a lot of bodies on her, and she doesn't mind that. She seems like she's all for it. So if I was these celebrities, I'd leave these industry chicks alone, man. Wouldn't have nothing to do with them, man. Nothing at all.
I do want to speak on it. When I first heard about them, and the reason why I said Michael B. Jordan should have known better, I think it was very important to highlight the 8 different men within, how many years was it? 6, 7 years? Either way, it was just a high frequency of men that were coming in and out of life, whether she's dating them, whether she's having sex with them. We don't really know the ins and outs of it, but it just was a lot of different men. And the only reason we know about it, as Courtney stated, is because she is in the limelight. You know, she's in the cameras. So I think it makes it worse when you know of a woman that has dated multiple men in a small amount of time, and then you choose to put this crown on her, knowing that she's been with these men, and then you're expecting a different outcome. This woman has had Future totally out of character. Future was doing some things that I didn't see him even doing with Sierra, and they had a child together. But for some reason, with Michael B. Jordan, he was just, it's like he was just lost in the sauce. And so when I read about this and I seen this come to play, I wasn't surprised. I felt kind of bad for Michael B. Jordan, because it's like, you should have known better. You know, you should have, if you was gonna wife up like that, you should at least just vetted a little bit longer and not going out the way you're doing. It's like he was just giving her the world. I was hearing all these reports about he wanted to marry her, and he was moving too fast. He's moving too fast. Like, does Lori look that goddamn good, y'all? Well, you got Meek Mill rapping about her.
She's
in
gorgeous.
his raps. I mean, I know she
absolutely gorgeous,
but she's still a human. She just shit.
Facts.
She looks that good. Yeah,
I
she
think
looks that good.
I looked at her sideways when she was dating a father and son. You know, like she dated Diddy's son, then a few years later dated Diddy. Like that in itself is like, you know. But her stepdad think like a man. You know, he made a book, so he probably gave her the manual. Yo, like get out here and do work. Yo.
Through it all, I think hasn't she launched a makeup company out of all this? You know, so again, we assume that she's been sleeping with all these men, right? We just make that assumption, but we really don't know. So is it fair to call her 304? I don't really know. I mean, it's fair to assume that she had to be sleeping with Future, right? I guess we assume that. But even if we keep it to Michael B. Jordan, I feel like I can't be completely mad at Michael B. Jordan for trying to do what he did. I mean, we were just talking about how a man, you know, when they want something, they go after it. They make it known that they want that thing. And, you know, they take themselves serious. They take their relationship serious. And so he was doing everything that, you know, we as a society expect a man to do when they want to show that they want to be with a woman, regardless of both of their past. So I'm not necessarily mad at him that he was putting his best foot forward, as far as we could tell from a social media standpoint. So now it's easy to call him a simp and he was a fool. He should have known better when they breaking up. But if they're in the middle of a relationship and it looks good, then everybody's like, oh man, relationship goals. I want to be them when I find my man, and they doing all this stuff.
Right.
Has she accepted an engagement, or has she accepted something like that? Or, you know, Lori Harvey's pregnant with Michael B. Jordan's child and all of that would have came through, we would have been like, you know, celebrating that.
I don't think
But as soon as they break up,
People were warning him beforehand.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, before they even was serious, people like Lil Bootsy was like, "There's no way in the world that I would do that." Michael B. Jordan, you a fool. Who else? There was a couple of guys that I know that was on live TV saying he's a fool because Lori Harvey is perceived to be for the streets, and so now he's perceived as a Captain Save-A-Ho. And now we're perceiving that he should have maybe listened to Lil Bootsy because she wasn't serious.
So now it's his reputation. So whose reputation takes a bigger hit then between the two of them? Like if Michael B. Jordan is supposed to be this good, if everyone agrees he's the good dude, you know what I mean?
I would say Michael B. Jordan takes the harder hit.
Yeah, sharks bite. So everybody sitting here watching this shark circle, you know, is gonna get bit. He don't know that. You know what I'm saying? But she cloaks these interactions as relationships. You know what I'm saying? They having holiday Thanksgiving dinner, you know, they on trips. So he was thinking like, yo, this is it. Like she's into me. But no, this is part of what she was taught, dog. Please believe she read that book and she learned how to finesse. Like, let me get out here and finesse these dudes, especially because I'm in the space too. You know what I mean? My dad is giving me access to all these blooming movie stars, blooming rappers, you know, she's in that mix. So all she has to do is put that charm on them.
Well, little birdie.
So you don't think she was? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
A little birdie told me in the beginning that it was a PR move, because Michael B. Jordan has been known for only dating white women. And Lori Harvey, you know, if you notice her pattern, she typically date industry niggas in hip hop R&B world, but she wanted to get more into the mainstream media. Because if you look, since was dating Michael B. Jordan, she's at the Met Gala, she's in different spaces. They're both attractive couples, so it makes sense. So whether it's true or not, the fact is they broke up within exactly a year. They're so heartbroken. You know, that's the narrative, and they're going their separate ways. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a strategic move.
I always thought he was going to be with Lupita Nyong'o. I thought that was going to be the relationship that was going to pop. So when this whole thing started to begin with, I was like, okay, this is clearly somebody publicist hit somebody else publicist up. And they was like, you know what we need to do? We need to get them together. She'll benefit. He can kind of get off that backlash, yada, yada, yada. But I thought that was a relationship that was going to go off. But I feel like overall, Michael B. Jordan, I figure he's the good guy in all of this, right? So we can't assume that he was in on some kind of publicity stunt if coming out of it, he looks worse. You know what I mean? So I feel like he did what I would expect a person like him to do, which is take the relationship serious, try to, you know what I mean, be the guy that everybody can say that he's, you know, relationship goals. I mean, a relationship takes two people. So you figure he can't be Future and he can't be P. Diddy. He can't just smash and dog her and then keep on moving and it look like it's not a big deal. That's not his whole image. So, you know, it just feels, I'm just not mad at, I'm more mad at just the entire situation versus anything Michael B. Jordan did. Like, I feel like he did what his image calls for him to do, which is be the good guy in the whole situation.
He was trying, the perception of, they said that he didn't really have a black following. His numbers in his last couple of movies didn't do well. He was getting backlash, I guess, seen with white women. So in order to cross over to us, you know, the best person was Lori Harvey, having the support of Steve Harvey and stuff like that.
He wasn't doing any movies while with her, so I don't see how that makes sense. I mean, since they've been together, they've been quiet. He's not working.
but it could set the foundation to something that he was probably planning in the future. You know, a lot of people think the long game, you know, because he was falling off.
Well, plot twist, okay, is that actually Michael B. Jordan is with me. Okay, it's not. Let me just give it one time. Wow, plot twist. He's with me. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I was gonna
This
say
conversation.
I would be in
Michael
a
B.
fake
Courtney.
relationship with Michael B.
One
Jordan.
He did do one movie on Amazon Prime, and it was with
did.
your girl. I think Laura London was in the movie.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Something with an R, the redemption.
Yeah, so
The
he did do one
resurrection.
movie, and it was with a black actress, like I said, Laura London, and I don't forgot what the name of the movie was.
Yeah, so this, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, we'll just talk about what we know for right now, and how this applies to men and women that are out in the real world outside of this entertainment. But we brought this up on King Talk about a woman's past, and you remember that guy that came up there, Rio, where he said that once he dates that woman, then her past is her past. And I think somebody brought an example up and asked, well, what if, you know, she slept with like with your homie or something, or somebody you knew close 2 days ago, and then she get with you, with that past still be her past? And he said, yeah. And so we have to look at, if you know, we don't know a woman's past, right? And some things you may know still may be false, and maybe some truth to it. You just got to kind of make that assessment yourself and then do what's best for you.
Right.
But I know most men would hate to look like a fool, but with her dating these men, and then you looking at the type of quality. Now she said she was probably dating like I don't know, man. Like what's some good men that's out there that just got this perception of being good? Keyword perception. I would say comment, but that's we don't know about that yet.
She's actually the female version of Common.
So if she was date,
good point.
She's the female version of Common. Think of Common and dates. He always dates these high power women when they're at the peak of their career, and it never works out.
so if she was dating, if her track record was to date like a Russell Wilson, so to speak, I think we might look at her a little bit differently, especially if the previous relationships not working out weren't on her. What I feel is Michael B. Jordan should have known better, because he did have an opportunity to peer into her track record just like the rest of the world. There were seven celebrities that she had dated previously. At some point in the back of his mind, it had to be, will I be number 8? And how would I look for me? And am I comfortable now that she's kind of being looked at? I mean, we talked about hoes earlier. Is she an industry hoe? I don't know. I mean, to some of our standards, she might be, right? To some of our standards, she might be. To a lot of our standards, she might be. So you took that risk. I mean, you got a reputation of being this stand-up guy. You know what I mean? Well-rounded brother, regardless of what color you choose to date. Is it even even if you thought you had something to prove when it comes to dating black women, why that one in particular? Right?
She's beautiful.
If I was gonna have a fake relationship with a woman, it would be Lori Harvey.
So we talked about this though as men, and Hink even alluded to this. You can have relations with somebody in private. I'm talking about, why did you choose to put her on your arm in public, knowing what's happened in her 7 previous public relations? And especially the father and son relation. I would have been on the phone at the very least if I just couldn't resist. Man, hey Diddy, you know, what made you let that one go? You also got to ask that, why would you even want to date her after your son? But regardless, it's just a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions there, but you should have some questions, Michael B. Jordan. That's my thing. Go ahead, Kelly. I see your hand. Go ahead.
I kind of like want to be realistic, because I know men are attracted aesthetically to a woman, and so all the men on the panel probably see her and see she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
If I didn't know this was a PR move, I'm kind of hurt, because I loved them together, so it's hard for me to swallow.
Speculation. We don't know.
But like, if your publicist called you and they were like, "Listen, I need you to pretend to be in a relationship with Lori Harvey," would you really be like, "Nah, sorry, can't do it. Really?
I just don't think it's a good look for his image. It just
Michael B. Jordan specifically.
Michael B. Jordan. I mean, you got to have some respect for yourself at the end of the day. He's not a slouch. You know what I'm saying? This man has done phenomenal work in his career. He ain't really got any stains on him.
Who would you pick? Who would you pick to have a fake relationship with? Like, if you had to, like, okay, darn, I gotta be out with her in public. She's beautiful. She dresses
I don't
well.
even understand.
Maybe somebody would like
oh,
I wouldn't have a fake relationship anyway.
Doja Cat.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I bet you. What's the rapper that just released the album? The white guy his name is escaping me right now. But he kind of looked like Asher Roth or whatever. If him and Doja Cat pretended to have a relationship at the time of their both of their album releases, I guarantee you they both would be a lot more popular. You know what I mean? And so that kind of stuff probably does happen.
Which one, Jack Harlow?
Jack Harlow. If Jack Harlow and Doja Cat pretended to be in a relationship a year ago, and then Jack Harlow dropped an album a month ago, his album would have been in the public eye a lot more than what he really was. I feel like a lot of times the goal is for an actual relationship to blossom out of these pair-ups, but oftentimes they don't. They end up breaking up. But I feel like somebody might say that Rihanna and I want to say ASAP, that could have been something that was arranged. So, but then they actually got together. They actually had those conversations, and they turned out to maybe get a little relationship out of it. But I would bet that a lot of these relationships are more made up and more produced and put together by publicists and managers than we would really imagine.
But what's interesting, and to JR point, is how us women, we saw them together like, oh my God, they're such a beautiful couple, relationship goals. And men see it different, like, yo, did you not see her past? Like, why the fuck would you wife her? I mean, when this was Lapeef Sports, I told y'all, my son's cousin is Pierre Thomas, when he was on the Saints with Reggie Bush. And this was around the time he was dating Kim Kardashian. And Pierre was like, they was giving him a lot of heat. Like, why the fuck are you with Kim Kardashian? Did you not see the sex tape? And so it's very interesting how us women see it different, but the men ain't championing that shit.
Hell no, she's a hoe. And he should have just knocked her down and moved on, man. There's no way I would. A year? What I need your ass a year for?
Yeah,
I don't care how pretty is. You a pretty hoe. You could be an ugly hoe. You could be a fat hoe. You could be a skinny hoe.
Oh, so there's levels.
There's not levels. A hoe's a hoe. It just depends on if you're a cute one, a ugly one, a rich one, a broke one, a one in the house.
Doesn't matter.
But I don't think it looks bad.
My thing is, we gotta call a spade a spade, because at the end of the day, when we see these things, if we don't speak up, it becomes a norm. And it's almost like we are normalizing the Kanye Wests who basically seen the mother of his children, his previous wife, on sex tapes with multiple men, but before he just chose to get into a serious relationship with her. You should have seen what was coming. The rest of us seen it. Some of them get real tender when they get, in front of a beautiful woman. Yes, I said tender, emotionally tender.
That's tender.
Tender.
DL tender.
What do you think about
beta? Because no one said you had to take it this far. Smash and go home. Don't try to make something more out of it than what it is.
Do we think the same thing about Megan Good and Devon Franklin? I mean, Megan Good.
I was thinking this. I was thinking about her.
Tyrese.
I was thinking about her.
So
we gotta. It doesn't matter what their name is. If this is their track record and this is their behavior, they fall right in that same bag. We gotta stop looking at it. Oh well, this is such and such, so we won't put that label on them. No, are they hoeing before you met them?
Man,
yeah, so that stuff matters. So, like, I do want to bring up another couple that kind of reminded me of this, which is Taye Diggs and April Jones.
Yeah, they're funny, but
what's different about their dynamic? So, I guess the question I want to ask is, can it work? Can it work?
Well,
she'll take anybody.
And Taye Diggs is kind of falling off, so him being with her kind of boasted him in social media. But Taye Diggs is still
like a couple days.
put it this way. Tay Diggs needed a little fun in his life, yo. And April is that, yo. Put a little spark in his life. Like Courtney
All right,
said,
so
he's
like, is
falling
that a
off.
PR move then? Because he was married to a white woman, right? Is he still married to a white
He
woman?
was.
Was okay, and then he
Yeah.
went back.
Well, he
Okay.
went something.
Okay, so
Oh,
and so okay, so if someone explain to me why picking up a pass around is what you want to be relevant for. I just don't understand that. Like April is just somebody who's just being
But
passed
I
around.
think
I
we
don't.
should go to
So,
so
Courtney with
you're
that because she was saying she didn't see Michael B. Jordan being with Lori a bad thing. So go ahead, Courtney.
well, no. I said I don't think it's going to. I didn't say that. Okay. I said that, I said I don't think it's going to be a bad thing on his image with him being with Lori Hart. I think it might boost him up because now that we know that he left her because she wasn't serious, and now women are thinking, oh, he's serious, and then we get in our heads that we got a chance and he's serious.
Exactly.
Y'all see my name. So but with April,
I just caught that.
I'm all in them
I
DMs
just caught
tonight.
your
that.
tag, yo.
Get your old
Put your
little
beard
lady.
in.
College grade Michael B. Jordan.
Put
I
your
got
beard in, baby.
anyway. But no, the April celebrity couples are different. They live by a whole different moral code. They look at things different. They look at sex different. So as you might call these women a pass around, a lot of these industry guys don't necessarily care. And they keep dating these industry women because first, that's what they're around. That's who they can trust. So they don't have to really go around signing NDAs on things because and then he can go to Diddy, yo, you was able to date her, she ain't run your business. Cool. Because that's a big thing in the industry. Michael B. Jordan could be into some freaky dicky stuff, and that's why he picked her. You don't know. You perceive him as being prestige. You perceive him as this, but these Hollywood cats are they're a different breed. And so what you call a pass around, they don't. Again, I said this before. There's a list of people that these men date and are allowed to date. She might do some nasty stuff that if it got out in the public that these men like, then that shoots their image down.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like it can't be overlooked too, Rio, that when it comes to the picking up a pass around question, there has to be, I don't know, but I'm just imagining that there has to be some kind of clout to be gained, when it comes to being on the cover of Us Weekly, when it comes to being on the cover of some of these magazines about being the guy that saved, some woman from a relationship. I mean, I feel like whoever J-Lo is with that month is getting the front cover of the magazine as being J-Lo's true love. You know what I mean? And so there has to be some kind of clout gained from being with these women as being seen as the man who's going to finally make it work with her. If Oprah and Stedman got married, Stedman would see a huge, rise in his public image because he finally was able to, lock down Oprah. And I imagine that Michael B. Jordan would have gotten that same clout of, of all the men that she's been with, she finally settled down with Michael B. Jordan. And so, because Russell Wilson gets a little bit of clout by being the guy that finally locked down Sierra. Now, we might not respect the people who give him this clout, but it might be in his best interest to be in these circles who see him as this heroic figure who saved Sierra from a lifetime of being a 304. So there has to be a gain that we just don't see. They live a completely different kind of lifestyle. So the people who they get, who cash their checks and whatnot, or who write the checks, are going to be people who would say, oh man, your relationship is something that I aspire to be. You took such and such woman, brought her out of this kind of lifestyle and turned her into a respectable woman. And so I feel like that has to be the only thing that's, making a situation like that be something that you want to be part of.
Or maybe he actually just fell in love with her.
Or he thought it was real. And
Poor guy.
Poor guy, right? At the end of the day, poor guy, because that's what it looks like. And if it's not the case, I hope selling himself out for whatever clout he was going to receive was worth it. Because right now it just looks like poor guy. You know what I'm saying? You're making plenty money. Fruitfield Station, Creed, Black Panther. Brother's doing great in life. You're doing great. You don't got to do that for clout for what? I mean, come on. I mean, and then when we start talking about um, publicity, there's ways to get good publicity. Whatever happened to that? You know what I mean? Like whatever happened to um, making another movie, or oh, I'm gonna do a little bit of music, or I'm gonna,
So a happy relationship isn't perceived as good publicity
You
if
can't
they're
have a
truly
depends
happy
on
happy.
relationship
who
with a hoe,
it's
though, Kelly.
with.
You can't
You
have
said
a happy
what?
Depends.
relationship with
It,
a hoe.
it it depends on who it's with. So your track
Yeah.
record lets me know, gives me a preview of what the likelihood
But
is
you're
of
saying
us
track
having a
record,
good
like
relationship.
you're saying
So
track record because she's popular, she's famous. But
mhm.
there's a lot of women that you gentlemen have probably been with that have been with lots of men, but you just don't know it.
So when we talk about
What?
earlier today, they said that J Lo was a hoe, um, and you kind of disagree with that. I think when you were saying the women should be able to date as many men, multiple men. If you're dating, you're dating,
I don't think
right?
you should
Uh,
sleep around,
but
but I think you can go out on dates and get to know someone. Yes, I do.
so right, so we don't know if she slept with those seven other men that she decided to present their, you know, in their dating or entanglement or whatever it was that they were having to the public eye. You decide you're going to go ahead, we're going to hold hands, and we're going to take pictures in front of the media so this can be broadcasted to the world. We're dating. You've decided to do that. So we assume that you're having a romantic relationship because that's essentially what the media does. And that's our perception of you broadcasting your relationship to the world. At that point, it doesn't matter if you didn't have sex or not, you did. That's whereas if you're a public figure, you have to be responsible about what you showcase to the world. Otherwise, we will just assume they give us something, we take it, and it is what it is. At that point, if you're bouncing from one relationship to a next relationship quickly, and now we're on number 7, and this is number 8, and she's probably working on number 9, good luck trying to undo our perception about you being a hoe. That's not realistic. You don't have to broadcast this to the world. You're choosing to, you're showcasing.
Yeah.
And
She's on
so
the dick
this
carousel, man.
and because this is what she's choosing to do. We don't know everyone that a celebrity dates, only if they decide that they're going to go public with it, or if they get caught in public by the media. So with that being said, if he doesn't have that type of track record, that's not even his MO, and he decides that he's going to get with somebody like that, in the back of his mind, he has to know that, listen, I'm taking a risk. I'm taking a risk. And that's what he did. So once again, should he have known better? Absolutely. You're a grown man, right? You see what this grown woman is deciding to do, in way of dating and the way that she goes about it. And you see what what the public eye's perception of her is because it's openly talked about. This is what it is.
Yeah. Let me ask Kelly a question. Do you think Michael B. Jordan usually dates white women or non-black women?
White woman.
Why do you think that?
That's his personal preference.
But why do you think he does though?
Why
I
do I
think
Well,
he
think
did.
not,
I
Michael B.
and
think
this
he.
is,
Jordan dates
I
white
mean, this is,
women?
let me clarify a little bit more. You think that he dates non-black women, but why do you perceive him thinking that? Not that white women are this or that. Let's not talk about how they act. But why do you think that he majority dates non-black women?
I don't have a problem dating outside the race,
I'm
so
not
I
going
don't think
to that.
about.
Oh, okay, well,
Maybe,
you think
maybe
that way
he's.
because you see him with non-black women. You don't know if he's having sex with them. You don't know if that's his woman. You see him on yachts with other women than black. You see him out and about in town with other women than black women. So that perception of, because you see him with white women, doesn't mean he's having sex with them. Doesn't mean that they're in a relationship. It could be some business trips that he's going on, and or we don't know. But that perception is because we see it. So when a man sees you with multiple men or in multiple relationships and none of them come to anything, the perception is that it's sex is being involved. You obviously like multiple men, celebrity men. So that's the perception. We think him liking other women than black is because we just see it. We don't know, but it's the perception that gives him that that stereotype. And it's the perception that Lori Harvey has been doing that gives the perception that she's promiscuous.
And I mean, you got to think of Hollywood. You got to think of Hollywood like high school. You know, it's a small community of people who live the same lifestyles. You know, they're not dating people for the most part with 9-to-5 jobs, you know, regular people. And they try to, you know, find the person. So you could look at Future and Diddy as the high school football players. You know what I'm saying? And she dated 2 of them. And now you on the debate team and you got an opportunity to date one of the cheerleaders of Hollywood. You know, it's a small community. It's almost like high school. You literally have like Drake. Let me tell you what Drake does. Drake will be in a random state and he'll, you know, go to a random restaurant and see some cute, bad waitress in his eyes. She's bad. He'll hide her. Like, he'll literally get her an apartment. You know what I'm saying? He'll want to date her, but he's hiding her from the rest of, because he knows the minute that he put this girl on the map, all of these people in his circle are going to be trying to date her. That's how you see it. You notice a lot of these video vixens or whatever, they end up dating the same people because Drake put her on the map. Now it's like, oh, Drake had her? Oh, all right, I'm about to get at that. Drake could straight be hiding these girls in Nebraska somewhere, yo. She was a waitress at Applebee's, you know.
Like he hit his son.
Made a good point there, Jay.
Yeah,
I got
get you a good old average chick, man. Find you a good old average woman, old down to earth. Like, hey, look, Michael B. Jordan. We got 3 eligible bachelorettes on this show right now.
He got one.
Oh, right. He already with Courtney.
Okay,
Slow down.
Courtney is ready to joust for Michael B. Jordan. She ready to fight.
One.
Yeah. She gonna
Courtney's like, no.
What's that old chick?
Courtney, you can have them.
Took the girl out. What's that chick? Took that girl out, took her by her knees, got the billy club put to her legs by some dude. That's what Courtney gonna do to y'all. Y'all try to roll up on
no, trying to take somebody out.
I want no y'all you sis. You good.
I don't fight over guys. You can have them.
Good, because I do.
Well, listen, you gotta use a rifle.
You have them.
Listen, Courtney has a rifle, guns. I don't want that southern smoke.
I didn't try to tell Michael. I said I am that short. It's a crown board. I'm here. I got you, Michael.
All right, I do have like one more thing I want to put up real quick. Again, if you're just tuning in, welcome to LAPEEF Sports. Let's get the likes up, family. Get the likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You got this one thing. There was a list that came up from women to stay away from. Did you guys see that list? Oh, so the first time we all in. Okay. Now I got
on the list. I'm good.
I got a scripture that nobody has seen yet on this Sunday service. Okay, let's go ahead and pull it up. And let's I'm gonna bring it up a few times because I know we all can't digest it like that. So let's just put it up. Women to stay away from: nurses, IG models, podcast owners, realtors, teachers, bottle girls, stock traders, new addition, flight attendants, and honorable mention. Okay, so let's take a look at that real quick. Women to stay away from.
I was screenshot.
Is there anything on there that kind of struck you guys' attention that surprises you? Do you guys agree with the list? Let's start with the men. Women, hold back real quick. Men, do you guys agree with this list? Women to stay away from: nurses, IG models, podcast owners, realtors, teachers, bottle girls, stock traders, that's a new addition, and flight attendants at honorable mention.
That podcast owners, yo, that caught me off guard. I'm trying to figure out podcast owners.
I don't have no problem with that list at all.
Sorry, Courtney.
I don't have a problem with the list. I mean, I understand. I wouldn't want no teachers, no flight attendants, IG model for sure.
I feel like we should go down the list, like each person, and give me a reason why. Like, why would you?
Yeah, if there was a hierarchy,
I feel like
nurses,
well,
teachers,
her ass ain't gonna never be home anyway.
Be sleeping with the doctors.
And if she ain't home,
Mm,
I need my lady at home. I don't want to be
Amber,
out on all the
They
time.
do.
they do.
They do. They sleep. They
Yes,
sleep
they
with each
do.
other.
put the list up one more time, Jr.
Yeah, we're gonna go down
All
the
right,
list. Let's just start
Okay,
with
so
the
nurses.
nurses
all
real
right.
quick. Let's start
So
with the nurses.
nurses are bottle girl or retired bottle girls. You know what I mean?
Damn.
So they got the same attitude.
Or
Uh,
strippers.
hold on.
I don't
Yeah,
understand what
nurses are
a nurse
retired
is a
bottle girl.
retired bottle girl.
Right. Whatever wrong decisions they made, they're gonna go to school with their Air Max and their scrubs, and they're gonna get their nursing license. You know?
I might have to
I,
agree with that one because like nurses are known to get to the bag.
Scrubs.
Nurses are known to get to the bag. It's not an easy course, but there are a lot of women that do turn to that nursing bag because they know it's almost guaranteed that they can provide for the lifestyle that they want to live. In which it's a lot of nurses that make more money than men out here. Some men, not all men, but they make more than the average man. So you can have a job as a teacher, making anywhere from 60 to 75, or a police officer, but then you may have a nurse that's making 120. And typically, not all the time, some women that make that money, that's in their bag, that's uh, getting to the bag, it comes with a certain type of energy. You can't tell her nothing. She knows it all.
Nah,
I got my own house. What I need yours for. So I think Jay may have a point there.
man, look.
podcast owners, I'm not familiar yet.
Hold on. You moving past that list. Anybody else
Oh,
want
my
to speak on
fault.
nurse?
Yeah. Let me speak on this because best ability is availability, and if this woman's a nurse, she's not available. So that's a problem for me. So unless you want me to have a side chick, you better not be no nurse in my life.
I think we had to get
But
Hink
she
a
could
dating show
save
because he
your
been
life.
really
Right?
I love it.
okay.
He's not playing
All right, so
today.
let's go down to the next one. I think we covered that one a little bit. IG models, this we already know about IG models. Podcast owners, this is the unique one that I think Jay was just speaking about.
I never heard anything.
Why would we need to stay away from a woman that's into podcasting?
Because she's too smart.
Gentlemen,
She talked too much for one. I say it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like that's just another way to say that she's gonna be strong in her opinions. She's gonna be open to debating you on nearly every topic. She's probably going to have some kind of inherent need to just be disagreeable because of the nature of what she's doing all day. So that's just my assumption. You figure all she gonna do is talk you down on every topic that you might bring up. Hey, babe, what we eating tonight? I want to eat chicken. Oh, well, I read this. I was just telling somebody in my podcast the other day how much chicken is terrible, and it's like all we talking about is dinner. So you know what I mean. So I see how that could come up.
okay. What about you, Rio? A woman that does podcasting, why would she need to be on that list of women not to date?
I'm gonna leave this
It's
panel now because I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be included in this. Bye, guys.
I don't know that I could answer that question without coming up with some kind of insecure thought, right? So I don't know if I agree with it, but obviously, if she has a really good platform, she's going to um, have a variety of people from all shapes, forms, backgrounds on there. Oftentimes, on these podcasts, you start to develop these different dialogues about men, and it may influence her perspective, and she could potentially bring that home, and that can cause some issues or risks within your relationship. Same with watching, but so there's some responsibility I think she has there to leave whatever is talked about
I'm
on the
watching body
podcast.
language. I'm watching body language.
Plus,
It,
y'all relationship could be the topic of her podcast. I mean, look at Red Table Talk. I don't imagine that's done any favors for their relationship. So,
yeah,
every argument you have might be the topic for the next day. And now if you got a big platform, you got 100,000 people all talking about how you wrong for something and they didn't even explain what happened right. You know what I mean? So you got that to deal with as well.
facts, especially when you have an expert or somebody come on and now it's like, okay, what they said is the gospel. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. And then the other is, I mean, I guess you would just have to be secure in her interaction with a bunch of different men on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Of which
That's a
I
good
don't
point.
know if all men are comfortable with that. Um, I'll just to step back one thing with what Amber said. So my woman is actually a nurse. So now that you told me that she's sleeping with the doctors, if I was to take that from this platform,
See what that
so
happens.
You
so
getting people
so
in trouble, Amber.
so if I was to take that from this platform, for example, that could potentially cause a rift in my, what I mean, relationship. So,
Yikes.
that would be my
Uh-oh.
response to that question, JR.
Somebody gonna be bringing somebody's sandwiches up to the hospital, huh? Surprise! Hey,
It could be popping up.
yeah,
Just want to
cold
stop
red,
by.
cold red.
Damn.
If he comes back up here,
Well,
just holler cold red.
Yeah.
also a lot of men will like see you on a platform and then they'll try to slide into your DMs.
That had nothing to do with it. The podcasting, Kelly.
What do you mean?
It does.
No, that's a
like
good
I'm saying
point.
like
That's a good point.
someone who's never seen you, if they see you on a platform, they'll be like, oh, who's that? And they'll just go slide into your DMs.
Well,
You're
somebody.
more exposed. You have
I
like
was
more
just
people have
thinking
access to you.
I was thinking more from the perspective of actually somebody that's podcasting versus somebody that's calling in. So if you call in, you probably that's the potential, but it's not like you consider a podcaster. But somebody that's having like when I think about the owners of podcasting or somebody that podcasts, they usually have a heavy opinion about it within a certain niche. So let's just say that they are, so to speak, a woman that's trying to minimize how men are trying to empower themselves to be better men, and all they do is bash men. Like you being that person, you're going to carry that same energy and bring it right back into the household. So that's probably a person that you'll want to stay away from. If somebody's being too religious, like all they talk about is God, 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 nothing against religion, but some people might not want to hear religion 24/7. So they podcasting about religion and come home and they don't know how to shut the word off. It's like, damn, I'm trying to get freaky, and you sitting here. You want to go in prayer right before we get started.
Don't worry. God's okay with sex. He created it.
Hey, JR, you need to bless me.
So my question is though, like if you meet a woman and she's a podcaster, right? Do you ask her to stop doing it once you become like serious?
Nope.
No, I don't think you force a woman to stop doing anything that she doesn't want to do. Me personally, I would want a woman to be her, authentically her. So I'm along the lines of like, don't stalk her. Like, don't try to prevent her from going out there being in the streets. She want to be in the streets, let her go. Like let her go out. If you find some shit out naturally, just find some shit out naturally. Don't try to hold her from doing anything that she doesn't want to do. I mean, that she wants to do. So that's just me. I wouldn't stop somebody. Just don't date her if that's not your thing. Don't hold it over her head. Don't meet her and then she was already a podcaster and now you're trying to. I prefer for you to do this. Nah, if she enjoys podcasts, you gotta understand that's a possibility that she's just gonna be a podcaster. And you just got to deal with it.
Maybe it depends on the niche too. You figure if she podcasting about something specific, then it's one thing versus being a relationship type podcast. Then it might be something different. If she podcasting about, I don't know, her experience being an electrician, that might be a little different.
I guess y'all kind of dead on this one with the
What
podcast.
I don't have nothing to say about the podcast.
Okay. All right, like realtors.
So
that's another field that a lot of women seem to hop into. From my understanding, I think you get some good money into it, especially if you have the looks to go with it. It's one of those easy fields to hop in and get to the bag. So why shouldn't we date realtors? Go ahead, Courtney. I hear you.
I think the core essence of all of them is the attitude that it can bring. So a lot of these realtors are the boss bitches, the ball of girls think they're fine and I can get ball players because I serve them a bottle on the VIP, IG models, the same thing. So all of these podcasting, I guess, can also garner an idea that a know-it-all and very super opinionated and I know everything because I podcast and I talk about this all day and people like me. So all of those, I think, garner an air of
the ego too.
Arrogance.
Yeah, arrogance of the boss bitch. And with all of them. Because no, the realtors I know, they sell a house and
now they live there with the dude.
Calm down.
Yeah, okay. Now they live there with the dude.
So I think it's the attitude that a lot
Y'all
of
uncovering some stories, man. The hospital and the relatives.
here.
Hope y'all taking notes in the chat.
The nurses. So it's the attitude, I think, that comes with a lot of these of feeling like I'm up here because of my title and because of the attention that I get. So therefore I get this attention. This must means that I'm boss bitch, better bitch, bad bitch, whatever bitch, but that's what the attitude is.
Ooh la la. But you should turn off the bitch when you come home. Like, I feel like you have, like, if you work and you have to be a certain way outside the home to do your job, like that gets shut down when you come home because your husband's the head of the household.
And we all know that doesn't happen, and common sense is not common sense. So again, and what you do at work, it does come back home. It's just a part of life. I have a baddest day at work, bringing it home sometimes. I don't want to, but I mean, it's just kind of like a part of life. So what kind of attitude do you want to bring in your home? The bottom girl attitude?
So Miss Courtney, you don't take on
I think it's turn off
that mindset with your podcast, do you, man?
No.
Okay.
But I'm not a big one, so I'm basic. I'm low budget.
Rio trying to get in there. Rio.
One of the things I can tell you about realtors is there's thousands upon thousands of them out there. So someone liking you enough to make them your realtor goes a long way. And even before you select one, you're looking at their image. And if we look at, there's certain programs that have been on there, like on Netflix, like Selling Tampa. Ocho Cinco's girl was on there, as a matter of fact.
I'm in Tampa.
You're in there? Okay. So with that being said, I mean, when you looked at her real estate team, I mean, they were all sexy, right? I mean, they had on the makeup, they had the breasts out, they had on the curvy little skirts and everything like that. And that's something that if you are a male client, it attracts your attention. You want to work with her. She has the personality to boot. You really want to work with her. You know what I mean? And then let her know, a little something about the field. She's really good in the field. Man, you're not going to be able to separate you from that realtor, right? And if that is part of how she markets herself, right? And if that's a part of how she obtains clientele, if you're a man at home, you got to be really secure in yourself to know that, okay, these relationships that she's developing aren't going to go too far.
He is a hate. He's a whole hater. Ain't on all the women as a nurse.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I feel like on the lowest parts of this list is probably teachers and stock traders. The thing with teachers, I would say, is that they're like overworked people. So especially nowadays with all of the pandemic issues.
Come on, Cal. What you got that? Disney.
Again, that wasn't me.
I don't want you.
Wasn't me. But yeah, I feel like they just deal with so much. They bring in all them, they bring in all their issues with the local people. They got to bring their issues with parents. They bring in kid issues. You know what I mean? This kid was fighting. They're going to talk about bringing issues home from work. A teacher has the most to bring home, and they bring in home papers. This kid said this.
Hey, teachers be getting down.
I was about to say teachers are
that's another thing.
Like,
yeah,
the workers, they sleep with each other too.
Yeah, they got a real
I
crazy
was
little
for
ecosystem.
5 years, and they was getting it in.
Yeah. So right, them Friday happy hours, them teachers be getting all the way in. They be the drunkest ones. You know what I mean? My single friends say if you catch a teacher,
a holiday party.
Yeah. Oh man. So I feel like they're the ones who they got the most instability, emotionally, because they're.
Oh, you see Mr. Cal in his suit.
They got it all going on. So they can have a good day one day, then a bad day. Then you got to go with them to the dance. Don't let your partner be a chaperone for somebody prom. Now you got to go with them as a chaperone, or else you leaving your partner out there looking crazy. So it's a whole thing as far as dating a teacher could go.
I'm telling Kay.
Hey, shout out to all the teachers.
Telling Kay on all of y'all.
I imagine it also depends on the kind of school you teach in. If you like a high school science teacher or something like that, you probably got, a crazy kind of lifestyle versus a first grade teacher who you just trying to help a kid learn his ABCs. I feel like your home life may not be as stressful.
They freaks too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Stock traders, I don't
You
even know
guys,
how that made it on.
everybody's a freak.
They mean
According to you
forex
guys,
traders.
everybody's a freak.
Oh, them
That's
forex traders.
forex. You know the ones that hop in your DM. Hey,
That's
Kyle,
one
how
step
are
above
you?
scamming, or is that still scamming? Is that we still
That's
consider that scamming?
yeah. You notice every forex trader is a supermodel, yo. Hey, Kyle, what are you up to?
All right, y'all. I think we're starting to near towards the end. I'm actually about to.
2:30.
Yeah, no, I'm actually about to ready to drop the link. Sage Talk right now. 1 second. So this is the link right here. Oh shit! I dropped the wrong goddamn link. My dumb ass. Oh shit.
You think about them freak ass teachers. That's what you're doing, JR.
Oh shit, Hank.
Hey Kelly, do you have that mindset being that you're a podcast owner?
What's the question?
Do you feel like you have that same mindset since you're a podcast owner that you a boss bee and they can't tell you shit?
I think I take care of business outside the home, but I believe in submitting to the authority of your husband when you're inside the home. And I've seen it done. I know people always say you can't turn it off, but I've seen it done. Like my godmother, she does it so well, in my opinion. Like she's a principal, so she runs the school. And like at work, she's like, okay, you do this, you need to go over here, you were late, you need to clock. And like she's like the boss. But at home, she turns into this little like almost like a puppy dog, like, hi honey, how you doing? I made dinner, I'll come sit down, I'll give you a massage. How was your day? Like, how's everything out? Like she literally turns it off. She completely turns into a different person. And I asked her, how do you do that? She said, because in the household, he is the boss, the man, he is my authority. So I'm not the boss here. I take that hat off and I put on my wife hat, and he is the boss. I was like, how do you do it? So I watched her and I studied her, and like it's amazing how she just transforms this whole, like she's like a little girl around him, like, hi, how you doing? Completely a different person, but it's amazing. And he's a very happy man. He's very happy.
You have some excellent role models you've had in your life, Kelly. I mean, for real. Like
Your network, Kelly, not jokingly. You got a strong network. Most women
seriously
don't have the kind of network for you to say the things you say. Is it is to be commended.
I have to thank my dad, because he made sure like he had us around good people. So I don't know. He just gravitated to good people. So.
Now I'm sure the assistant principal might have some different opinions about the principal in terms of what she has to do or whatever it is. Like
actually, my sister was one of the teachers at her school, and she said she was an excellent principal. Like she handled it.
What about you, Miss?
What about me? What?
We want to know.
What you want to know?
About the helicopter.
Okay, I'm always for that. Let's tell us about the helicopter.
Where's logic with the helicopter sound when you need them? But yeah, we're gonna have to have that. And after.
But Amber, I mean, you kind of self-employed. You're a successful photographer. Do you find yourself taking your boss mentality into your personal relationships with men?
Even when a couple years ago when I was the media director and I had a team of men, I never had to operate in masculine energy. Actually, I saw that we got more done when I just was in my feminine energy. I let them lead in their field. I never had to be the head bitch in charge. I was still kind of mothering and, just nurturing and sister-like. So I never had to be in that type of energy. A few times I had to be in that energy is like when I'm putting together press conferences and it's just a lot of people and I have to be like, okay, get this done, but I'm still not being a bitch. I'm being more direct. But when it was me and my men, just like, it was like just a team of friends and like, this is the job, this is the execution, you do this, how's this going? I never had to be in that masculine energy.
I know, Amber, you seem like a sweetie pie.
I'm a softie. I am. I'm a sucker. I'm getting better.
All right, y'all. I just dropped the link. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Sage Talk with Lee, Game versus Intellect, the Black Man's Dilemma. So Sage Talk with Lee is happening at 2:30 Central Time. So that's roughly about Right about like 12, 13 minutes from now. So make sure you guys go ahead and click that link that's pinned to the top of the chat. And let's support Lee. Let's go out and have a great show. Make sure y'all call in towards the end of the broadcast. And we are live August the 5th and 6th in Atlanta. The Lapeef Experience is going to be epic. Make sure you guys tune in. Rio will be there. Rio, I looked at your photos, man. I don't know if you know Amber's a photographer. Well, I'm pretty sure you know because she lets everybody know she's a photographer. But King Rio is a photographer as well. Make sure you guys check him out. You got some nice work. What city do you do work in, Rio?
You said what city?
Yeah, do you do work in? Or do you fly out? Are
So
people flying you out somewhere?
So I'm in an RTP, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area. And I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so I still do work up there too. Still, my strongest network is in that area. But yeah, man, I go wherever.
Yeah. I do some photography too, man. We might have to do a little, see if we can get the whole Lapeef panel to do a little runway show or something. And then, shit, Amber, me and you, we'll just shoot. And then we can have him playing. We can have him playing the owl sound bite. Just keep doing it over and over and over again. Okay, yeah, I know that was lame. I thought it was too.
Hey, man,
I don't know why you said that.
It was lame.
Yeah, I was reaching with that one.
Yeah, I got you.
That one was
I heard
bad.
the
I
cricket.
gotta admit it.
They're all bad.
Yeah, but at least I can admit it though.
No, some of them are good.
Hey, man, where'd you get that old 1987 television at, man? It looked like the shit I play Tecmo Bowl on.
Hey man, it's vintage, man. Just like Lee. Lee vintage. Yeah, but make sure y'all check them out. Check Amber Marie Green out, and then check Brown photograph out. Just go to IG. I just looked at it not too long ago. It's pretty dope. Yeah, so I just want to make sure we highlight them. Why y'all look so depressed on this Sunday, man? The joke wasn't that goddamn bad. Damn.
That one was really bad.
I think everybody hungry.
Whole afternoon.
We still waiting on Amber to tell about the helicopter move.
Okay, we got to do that in the after hours.
What is the helicopter?
I know that's a special request.
Courtney, I'll tell you about the helicopter.
Get it in the back chat. The back chat.
All right.
All right, but y'all stay tuned, man. We're going to talk about this helicopter move for the next 5 minutes, man. We're going to do it behind the scenes. So thank you guys for tuning in to Lapeef Sundays. Make sure you guys hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel on the way out. Let me go ahead and segue us out, man.
Hey, I appreciate y'all too. Courtney B. Jordan. Congratulations.
Courtney, I'm gonna do your engagement photo.
Oh my God!
He broke up with Lori. That way he could be with you. We all know the real story.
That's the real story. I didn't want to say nothing.
You know.
I did not want to say it, but the cat's out the bag.
Yeah.
I am Courtney B. Jordan.
That's how you do
Good to y'all though.
Thank you very much.
Right, y'all make sure y'all stay behind for that the helicopter. I mean, you ain't getting off the hook with that
I gotta go. I gotta go.
Nah.
I gotta go.
Appreciate y'all. Hit that like button. Y'all click that link at the top and head over to Sage Talk with Lee. This is what we talking about over there. Game versus intellect, the black man's dilemma. It's going to be epic over there, just like in Atlanta. Appreciate y'all. Much love to all. Lapeef Sundays, and we out. Look at Michael B. Jordan stroking that ego.